I'm a link in the chain. I am a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain.
I'm 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 a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain.
I'm a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain. I'm a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain. When you play one of us, you play all of us.
It's the fourth round of the playoffs, and for the third year in a row, Highland Park is still playing football games. It's rare that the Scots face a program with a similar tradition to their own, but today, lining up across from Highland Park is another one of Texas high school football's most storied programs. These two teams combine for over 1,500 wins and 8 state championships. It's the Highland Park Scots and the Tyler John Tyler Lions in the Region 2 semifinal, presented by Game On Sports.
And it's staying right where it belongs. Go! Core went to the end zone. Touchdown, Scott! He's got a receiver. It's caught by Finn Core.
Hello, everyone. I'm Miles Dunklin, joined by the coach, Eric Cunningham, and we're back here at the friendly confines of the Ford Center at the Frisco Star. And Eric, boy, has this place been good to Highland Park, including last week when they jumped all over Mansfield Timberview. It was 31-0 with 4 minutes left in the first quarter, a final score of 52-7. A great win for Highland Park there in the third round.
It was a great win. You know, Miles, you and I talk a lot about the fact that this time of year you want to be playing your best football. Certainly the Scots are doing so. They feel very confident in this building. You can't ask for a better start than they got off to last week. It was 31-0 with 4 minutes left in the first quarter, something we didn't necessarily expect, but I guarantee you the Scots would take it, and they were able to cruise from that point forward.
Eric, in our open, I mentioned the tradition of these two programs. Highland Park, of course, is the number one winningest program in Texas high school football history. Today, they're going for win number 830 in their illustrious history. Well, Tyler John Tyler, they're going for win number 713. They're 11th all-time in Texas high school football history. A lot of tradition on the field today between these two teams.
Yeah, it's rare, as you mentioned, for Highland Park to run into an opponent with not as much, but close to as much tradition as the Scots possess. But they see that today in a John Tyler team that's very athletic. They're big, they're physical, and they're also playing great football right now. They took a couple early lumps in the season to some really good football teams, but they're starting to peak at the right time. This is going to be a really good matchup with two storied traditional programs here today.
And Eric, speaking of history, flashback to 2011 when Highland Park was eliminated by the John Tyler Lions at Waco ISD Stadium. So a little bit of history between these two teams as well.
I guarantee you, Coach Randy Allen and his staff have not forgotten about that day in Waco. It was a tough loss for the Scots, but Coach Allen has that trap-like mental, that mind that doesn't forget those types of things. So I guarantee you he's reminded these young men that the last time we teed it up with these guys, we came up on the short end, so let's go take care of business today.
Eric, if you had to point to a couple, 2 or 3 things that need to go well for Highland Park today, what would that be?
Well, there's no doubt that this John Tyler team is going to try to negate the weapons that Highland Park possesses, specifically Finn Corwin. So I think that the Scots are going to have to run the football well today, and that includes Chandler Morris. You know, he's certainly a weapon with his legs, and I guarantee you Coach Allen's going to try to utilize that today. The other thing is I can't wait to see the battle up front. I think it's going to be obviously very critical to really win the line of scrimmage up front. And then, Miles, as always, fourth round of the playoffs, the turnover battle is critical here today. So I think, the Scotties can force a few and take care of the football. That sets himself up for success.
Yeah, Highland Park took the ball away 5 times last week. They're now plus 26 on the season in turnover ratio. So all good trends there. Speaking of good trends, we are so glad to have Kyle Yeomans back as part of our broadcast team here with this Game On Sports production crew. And for the first time today, let's check in with Kyle down on the sideline.
You heard what he said, 14? It's tails.
Tails. John Tyler has won the toss.
John Tyler has won the toss. You want to take your option this half or the second half?
For the second half.
John Tyler has deferred their option to the second half.
John Tyler wins the toss, and so Highland Park will get the ball first here from the Ford Center. Glad to be back with you guys. Should be a whole lot of fun, as it should be a lot of fun. Both teams getting ready to get set here on the sideline. Miles, it should be really kind of an all-classic type of game. Like you said in your open, these are two teams that you don't really get to see a whole lot of this because they're so successful as a program overall between both sides. Highland Park facing John Tyler, but for now, I'm going to send it back to you guys. I'll check in just before kickoff.
Thank you, Kyle. We'll also be joined by Paige Schnorbach down there today as Highland Park comes out of the tunnel, and Eric Cunningham, they are looking for their 29th consecutive victory. The Scots have won 34 out of their last 35 games. And Eric, this is the most successful era in the most successful program in the history of the greatest state that we have in this country in terms of Texas high school football.
Absolutely incredible, Miles. You know, you and I were talking before the game, and I said, I'm curious, what the exact win-loss is here in this building. And, Miles, you looked at me and said it very definitive. It doesn't matter. They're undefeated, and that's very true. They feel so confident in this place. They've played extremely well. Miles, what an unbelievable atmosphere here in the fourth round of the playoffs. Two very, very tradition-rich programs going head-to-head. Oh, man, this is going to be incredible. Texas high school football here today.
And Eric, one of the things about John Tyler, in terms of their tradition, a lot of great pageantry, as you can see out there, and they brought a lot of folks. It should be an outstanding atmosphere here today at the Ford Center.
Well, they're accustomed to traveling to the DFW Metroplexes. For those of you that don't know, John Tyler played in that district that had the Mesquite schools in there. So this isn't abnormal for them. They were not scared, so to speak, to come into a building that Highland Park is so accustomed to playing in that's so close to Highland Park ISD. So, again, you would have thought, man, I'm shocked that they decided to do this, but this is not something that's abnormal to them, and you're right. Give them credit. They have got quite the following down there with John Tyler faithful, a ton of drill team members, cheerleaders. Love the term pageantry because that's exactly what this John Tyler team is all about.
And Eric, as we focus a little bit more on John Tyler here, our fans know pretty well about the Scots, but this is a team in the Lions that wants to run the football. They have a very good defense, and they've had a couple upsets along the way. People didn't know how that Lancaster game would play out, and then people really thought that they would handle, or that Frisco Lone Star was going to win that game last week, and instead it was a 31-13 win by John Tyler over Frisco Lone Star. This is a really good team.
A very good team, and a couple of those losses they've had this year were against really quality opponents early in the year. The Cedar Hill Longhorns, very, very talented 6A team. Longview Lobos, very, very talented 6A team that is still in the playoffs, and those are two of their losses, so don't let those fool you. This is a very, very good football team.
And we're going to pause here for the national anthem from the Ford Center at the Frisco Star.
Great job by the Scott band. And we're about ready for some football. 45 seconds on the clock as we're ready to kick it off here from the Ford Center at the Frisco Star. The Highland Park Scots, Eric Cunningham, I already mentioned they've won 28 games in a row. It's the winningest program in Texas high school football history. They are back-to-back state champions. And let's start real quickly on offense. Chandler Morris is a Dallas News nominee for Player of the Year in the Dallas area. And Highland Park has just been dynamic offensively, 42 points per game, 408 yards per game, as you see there on our pregame graphic. The Scots led by Chandler Morris, this offense has been dynamic.
They sure have. Absolutely clicking on all cylinders. And, Chandler's been phenomenal, but he's got weapons galore. But you and I talked about this last week, Miles Dunklin. It really and truly starts up front. Those big fellas up front, the offensive line for Highland Park has been outstanding. They've really gelled well over the course of the season. They're playing very well, which is really setting the stage for this Highland Park offense to really click. And then, we talked about the fact that John Tyler is going to want to try to take something away. I suspect they're going to try to take 16 away, but I'm going to tell you what, take him away. There are so many other options out there for the Highland Park Scots. They just have to protect the football.
And Kyle, what happened down there on the coin toss?
Yeah, basically with the coin toss, Miles, it was John Tyler getting the coin toss win. They deferred to the second half, so they'll give it to the Scots. But you guys talked about the atmosphere. They're still filing in here at the Ford Center. There are 3 games today. I've seen Alan Hearns walking around. I've seen other Cowboys of the coaching staff walking around. There is a ton of excitement for this one.
Thank you, Kyle. And it's Frankie Sanchez, an outstanding kicker for the Lions, kicking it deep and through the end zone. Sanchez, about half of his kicks this year have resulted in touchbacks.
Well, and I think that's, pardon me, Miles, I think that's something that needs to be noted is special teams is going to be a key part of this game, and both teams have really excelled in that arena all year long. You mentioned Frankie Sanchez. He's a heck of a kicker. That's something to keep our eyes out on as this game moves forward.
The Scots come out in a 5-wide set. Chandler Morris is the quarterback. And Morris looking right side, and that's caught out there in space. That's Drew Scott still on his feet loose. Drew Scott's going to get all the way to midfield, and this is one of our talking points today. Woo. Drew Scott has emerged as a star here in the playoffs. 11 catches for 229 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaging 21 yards a reception.
The cream rises this time of year. There's a lot of cream on the Highland Park Scots, but number 7 is, I'll tell you right now, he is really playing good football. Love to see the football in his hands early in this game.
HB has the midfield, lots of running room for Chandler Morris, and quickly it closes as he tries the right side. Let's set the rest of the Scott offense here on the offensive line. The 2 captains on the left side, Reagan Riddle and Ryan Butts. The center is Tyler Kilgus. The right guard is Jack Rourke, and the right tackle is Harrison Hall. At the outside receivers, it's the Drews. Drew Scott and Drew Dodge. On the inside, it's Finn Corwin and Ben Smith, with Case Savage getting mixed in quite a bit. And at running back, it's Benner Page. And, of course, Chandler Morris is the Scott signal caller with 51 touchdowns on the season. And Morris has 3 receivers to his left. Wants to go that way. Throwing, and it's off the hands of Case Savage, something you don't see very often from the Scots, a drop ball there. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, you're right, Miles. Something you don't see often. Case is going to make that play 99 times out of 100, and just trying to get settled in here. What an atmosphere this is. I know there's some jitters and some nerves out there for these young men, but it's such a luxury for Highland Park knowing that they've been in this setting over the last 2 years specifically many times.
It's 3rd down and 8. The Scots are 44% this year on 3rd downs. 2-by-2 set for Morris. Just a 3-man rush. Wants to throw right side, and it is incomplete. It was in and out of the hands there of Drew Scott at the 40-yard line. It's decision time here for Randy Allen.
Yeah, I think Coach Allen, one of 2 things. He's either going to go for it or they're going to quick kick it. This part of the field, oftentimes he has gone to that quick kick setting. They changed it up in the playoffs where they're going to the trips to the right side, and he's going to more of the rugby-style kick. Give him the option of potentially going for it.
And they are definitely in that set right now where Morris has the option to read it. Looks like he wants to kick it, and he will, averaging about 35 yards a boot this year.
Get a good kick.
Pretty good kick, needs a good roll, and it will be Corwin downing it at the 16-yard line, and that's where the John Tyler Lions will set up their offense.
You know, I'll tell you what, Miles, Highland Park has been phenomenal offensively in the first quarter and really been able to put points on the board pretty much in every game, maybe other than one. I know you'll know that stat, but give credit to John Tyler. That's a big stop for them early in this game. That's exactly why they wanted to kick the football, because they feel like that their defense is the strength of this team.
Yeah, Mansfield Legacy, that's the only time the Scots haven't scored in the first quarter. They've outscored opponents 199-28 in the opening period this year. So it's John Tyler and Devlin Woods at quarterback, and they flip it right side for Roderick Hawkins, and he's able to get outside the Scots and pushed out of bounds over there by Brock Bakich. Let's set the Scott defense, led by Prince Dorba on the defensive line, as well as Jeremy Haynes, Jack Jurgovan, and Grant Gallus, although they only start 3 defensive linemen, is the 4th starter. On the linebacker core, Christopher Reed, Patrick Turner, Cal Hershey, and Colby Hopkins. And in the secondary, it's Hudson Clark, Ryan Caton, Brock Bakich, and Whit Winfield. And it's Devlin Woods keeping it himself off the right edge. And he'll be wrapped up there by Hudson Clark. It's a first down for the Lions. Let's set their offense, led by Devlin Woods, the quarterback. Roderick Hawkins is one of 5 tailbacks that will touch the ball. Big outside receiver is Keandre Street, number 13. The other man is Kalon Warren and Nathaniel Hall, as well as Anthony Minor at the wide receiver positions. On the offensive line, it's a big unit, especially on the left side, with Chance Billington and Braylon Johnson. The center is Angel Sarmentio. The right guard is Victor Gomez, and the right tackle is Jabraylon Yarber. 1st and 10 here for the Lions. Inside handoff. And off the left side, it's Roderick Hawkins, dragged down eventually there by Brock Bakich. Hawkins is a good one. 1,270 yards on the year, 11 touchdowns, and he averages 8.2 yards per carry.
Tell you what, Miles, Devlin Woods, the Scots are going to have their hands full with him today. He is a true dual-threat quarterback that can do both. He can really spin it, throw the football very well. He's got 475 yards rushing on the season, 4 touchdowns. So they've got to account for him in both, you know, obviously with his arm and with his legs. He's a heck of a football player.
And it's Woods here on 2nd down and 4 with an H-back to his right. And they flip it right side. That's going to be 1st down yardage and more. That's number 2, Cameron Grant, who's still loose. And into Scott territory, Grant will take it all the way to the 40-yard line. Cameron Grant, that's just his 4th catch of the season. But he has 550 yards and 9 touchdowns as a runner, and is also a starting safety for John Tyler. They play a lot of players both ways.
We had a flag down. I'm anxious to see what this call is.
There is no flag on the play.
Pick it up.
1st down, John Tyler.
So the John Tyler faithful fired up as they are moving the ball here into Scott territory early in this one.
Yeah, here so far, that little swing pass. Frankly, it's a lateral pass, Miles. I think it's a risky pass. It just goes to show the confidence level that they have in that, you know, Woods and Grant duo.
And it's Woods taking it right side. And he's got another solid pickup across the 30, making another 1st down here for Cujo. John Tyler, and that is their mantra. It's their alter ego, Cujo. Now, Eric, they don't even mention that word until they get to the playoffs, and then it's everything there for the Lions. They even wear it across the front of their jersey.
A lot of tradition, a lot of pride out at John Tyler. You know, anybody that follows high school football in the state of Texas knows that John Tyler is an outstanding program.
They're coached by Ricklin Holmes, who actually went to John Tyler himself. Went on to play in the NFL and at Oklahoma State. And they flip it again here to Roderick Hawkins off the left edge. And Hawkins piercing the Scott defense. Eric Cunningham, it's been a very active first quarter already for Brock Bakich, but that's not good news if you're a Scott fan.
No, you don't want Bakich making plays deep in the secondary, and so far he's had to make 2 of them that have been critical. But tell you what, Miles, so far John Tyler is executing extremely well at what they've done all year long, and that is running the football. They are big up front, as you mentioned, specifically the left side They followed those two big left bodies right there on that play, and so far they're really executing well in the run game.
Both guys over 300 pounds on that left side. They hand it up the gut, and that's Hawkins pushing the pile all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, Lions.
I mean, Miles Dunklin, you could not have asked for a better start in all three phases. They start with the touchback, they get the defensive stop, and then they just drive it right down the throats of the Highland Park Scots and punch it in. I'll tell you what, really impressed. Roderick Hawkins has an extremely thick lower half. He is a strong young man, specifically in his legs, and he just drove his way into the end zone. It's not oftentimes, Miles, that you see this defensive line for Highland Park get pushed back, and they did on that possession.
Frankie Sanchez tacks on the extra point. He's only missed 1 point after attempt all season for John Tyler. And Eric, that big left side of the offensive line doing their job. We mentioned it, the first quarter dominance this year by Highland Park. This is only the fourth team and now 14 opponents to have scored a first quarter point against Highland Park. So they've been really good coming out early, outscoring opponents 15.1 to 2.2.
Yeah, real quickly, that possession, 2 minutes, 39 seconds, 7 plays, covering 83 yards, certainly for the touchdown. Tell you what, Miles, again, like I mentioned earlier, this Highland Park team has been really good starting football games. So I'm anxious to see the reaction that Highland Park is going to provide right here to that early score. Kyle Yeomans, how things looking down there, buddy?
Hey guys, you talk about the early start for Highland Park and how important that is. Well, that offensive line came off the field after that first series for the Scots and were very frustrated. They were throwing some water bottles around, not normally what you see from a Scots sideline, but the first person over there to try and turn things around, big number 4, Chandler Morris, came up to his offensive lineman and said, boys, it's okay. There's a long game ahead of us. Let's get it done on this next drive, and we'll take it from there.
And Frankie Sanchez drills another through the back of the end zone. Let's set the John Tyler defense, and they are led, as well as Highland Park, by their defensive line, a really good unit up front. They run a 3-4 just like the Scots, and it's Christian Hartsfield, the left defensive end, number 5. He's a really good one. Jabraylon Yarber is the nose guard at 6 foot 280, a really good player as well. The other defensive end is Kimbrick McCaney. The linebackers are Darian Warren, Tyrell Jones, Jarius Lane, and Isaiah Johnson. They're a lot bigger at that linebacker core than the Scots are used to seeing. And it's Kitten Crawford, Cameron Grant, Roy Lampton, and Jared Mosley in the secondary. Here's a handoff for Benner Page. Lots of running room off the left side. And Benner Page has a solid first down pickup. Now the Scots want to get tricky as they put their offensive tackles out wide. Let's see what Randy Allen has up his sleeve here. Can John Tyler defend this? Yep. They are not ready, and Rickland Holmes is going to take a timeout, and Eric can't blame them. They had almost nobody at the top of the
screen. No, they're
not
calling a timeout, Miles. They just blew it dead because they thought the football wasn't on the proper hash.
Wow.
The officials are having a hard time here.
Well, I thought it was a timeout. The Scots will run it, and they'll throw it left side. Ben Smith, he wants to throw it, thinks better, and pulls it down, gets across the 35. Great play there by Ben Smith. Eric, those guys want to throw it when they get that opportunity, but smart play there by Ben.
Very good play right there. I'll tell you, you and I have talked about Cameron Grant. He is the leader in this secondary, number 2. He's 5'10", 190, and he defended that extremely well. What they wanted to do there, Miles, is get Benner Page running right up the seam and Ben to find him. But again, very well-coached team, very disciplined, and Cameron Grant really saved the day on that play.
The Scots deploy 3 receivers to the top of the screen, throwing near side. That's Drew Dodge.
Oh.
And they say that was incomplete?
Yeah, they sure did. Interesting.
Looked to me like Drew had it. The official was in good position and says it's an incompletion.
No complaint out of Drew. I think official looked to be in good position. And
so it's a 2nd and 10 now for the Scots from the 36-yard line. They run the counter play. It's Benner Page with some running room, making a man miss. He's across midfield. Benner Page still on his feet. 40, 30, making another man miss inside the 20. What a run there by Benner Page.
And you said it. That was one heck of an individual effort right there by Benner Page. I will tell you, the offensive line did a good job of creating a nice crease up front initially. But I'm going to tell you, after that first, initial little surge, that was all Benner Page right there. He made about 3 or 4 men miss. and really whiff on the tackle. And I'll tell you, Benner's just continued, as you and I've talked about, to get better and better and better. Heck of a run there by Benner Page, and a much-needed run for the Scots.
And there is a John Tyler player down back at the 44-yard line.
Get a good look at that run right there. Tell you what, that missed tackle right there. He picks up another probably 15 to 20 after that missed tackle. We talk about the leg strength of these running backs for John Tyler, but I'm going to tell you what, Benner Page is another one that has just been phenomenal, again, all year long, but protecting the football. But then, what I've been impressed with Miles here as of late is his ability to break tackles. He's done a really nice job of breaking tackles.
He's always been patient, had excellent balance. We talked about his ability to protect the football and his quarterback throughout the season. So he's just a guy that does all those little things well about playing the running back position and some of the big picture stuff as well, like breaking tackles, running away from people.
Agreed, absolutely. Pass protection has been phenomenal, taking care of the football. Coach Ryan Gibbs just cannot say enough great things about Benner Page, and a guy that as he has played more and more, he's just got better and better, and he's going to be a big loss for the Scots as he is a senior.
So it was Kitten Crawford, the man that's down, and he is a speedster, probably their best corner. So number 12 will check in for the Lions. It's Xavier Allen, backup quarterback. Big loss there for John Tyler. So Morris in a 5-wide set. Looking right side, has a wide open Ben Smith, making a man miss, and he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Scots.
What an answer by Highland Park. A sure sign of a championship-level team is being able to come back after you get punched in the mouth early on and get a touchdown on the board. What a drive right there by Coach Allen and this Highland Park offense.
Scots looking to tie it here with the extra point for the first time today. Let's check in with Paige Schnorbach on the sideline.
Thanks, Miles. We've seen all season Highland Park isn't used to being behind, but up until this touchdown, they were down 7-0. Coach Melton was telling his defense, all right, they scored on us. Now the question is, what are you going to do about it? We've been here before. Stick to the plan. Back to you.
Great job by Paige there. That was a 5-play, 75-yard touchdown drive by Highland Park. Only took 1 minute and 34.
Well, that 5-wide set, you're going to see right here, Ben Smith he just finds a sweet spot wide open, and then it's just all Ben Smith from there. Another young man that has emerged as a real weapon on this Highland Park offense.
And Eric, Ben Smith really excels after the catch. He's not a big guy. I think we have Ben listed at about 150 pounds, but he runs really hard.
Yeah, he sure does. There's Ben right there. Great route run and a great job of getting in the end zone. But, Miles, it's interesting. Early on in this football game, you notice 16 hasn't caught a football yet. That really hadn't been a factor in Finn Corwin, and you and I talked about the fact that John Tyler was going to really try hard to take away the weapon that has been so good for the Scots. It's obvious. Here's the problem with that. Highland Park has many, many other options they can go to. You don't get to this level unless you've got a ton of depth across the board. Right now it's been Benner Page and then Ben Smith.
Well, to your point, John Tyler has done a great job of taking away the other team's best weapon throughout this playoff run, including when they played Lancaster and Lone Star, the two common opponents for these teams, able to hold Marvin Mims, 4-star recruit for Lone Star, without a single catch last week. Held the star Bradford for Lancaster under 100 yards. But Finn Corwin's been hard to hold down. He has 27 touchdowns in 29 career games, and he has a catch in 19 consecutive ball games. On the kickoff return, did the ball come out?
If so,
looks like he was able to hold on to it. And that was number 24, Kitten Crawford, back in the ball game for the Lions.
Well, speaking of number 24, boy, it's good to see 24 in blue and gold back out on the football field. Chris Reed, who has battled an injury for the last several weeks, is now back out there. And again, just providing some additional depth, of which you and I never thought we'd say this, this late in the season, as much injury as the Scots have faced at the linebacking core, but he is providing some much-needed depth at linebacker.
Now, Reed's missed a couple weeks, but he's back in there. Been probably their most productive backer this season. Throw it right side. That was a dangerous pass by Woods, but it is caught by number 3. That's Kaylon Warren, 26 catches for 438 and 9 touchdowns. But the man to watch, Eric, is number 13, Keandre Street. He's on the bottom of the screen right now. Good-looking athlete, 6'2", 200 pounds, averaging 27 yards a reception. It's a two-back set here for Woods. And they keep it on the ground. This is their thundering back, number 26, Kadarian Asbell. They have 5 different running backs. They like to hand the ball. They all have different styles. Coach Rickland Holmes told me, depending on the situation, we'll use any one of the 5.
Well, they've got Street listed at 6'2". Miles, I think he's ever been a 6'3", 6'4".
Yep.
I walked by him in pregame, and he is he's a good-looking athlete.
He sure
and,
is.
You know, so far right now, you notice that they've got Hudson Clark manned up on him and going to follow him all over the field.
It's a keeper all the way here by Woods. Right side. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 5. Let's check in with Kyle on the sideline.
Yeah, thanks, Miles. You guys were talking about Christopher Reed earlier, of course, being back in the starting lineup yet again, but also Patrick Turner, who's been there all season long, really been a crucial part of the Scots defense. Him and Reed both shared a moment on the sideline pregame that I got a chance to kind of stand next to, and they were just kind of looking at each other, giving a little bit of dap to each other and saying, hey, let's do this. We're finally back on the same field together. This should be a whole lot of fun. Each of them have made a tackle here on this drive.
And Woods going to break contain. He's still loose down the sideline. Devlin Woods is going to take it to the house. 64 yards goes the senior.
There's the speed that we talked about. And, you know, it may have been some few holds up front, but, hey, give credit to this John Tyler offense. They had to answer the bell right there, and they sure did so. Devlin Woods, my goodness, Miles, he can run. When he gets in the open field, he's going to be tough to catch. The Scots are going to have to contain him. That is a play they've run probably 4 times already in this game, and it's been a successful play for them each time.
Just a 4-play, 82-yard drive. Give a lot of credit to John Tyler. And the Scots, Eric, felt pretty good in terms of their game plan and in terms of their opponent's scouting, knowing what John Tyler was going to do and when they were going to do it based on how they were aligned on a given play. But you can't scout speed. You can't simulate that in practice. The Scots don't have a guy they can put in there on their JV Blue scout team and run like Devlin Woods.
Well, and, you know, Chris Reed unfortunately got sucked inside and then got kind of pancaked in there. And the way, you know, Scott just didn't have contain. And this John Tyler team, they don't need a lot. And when they get that small crease, they're going to be tough to catch from behind. The Scots are going to really have to do a good job of reading the keys. There's a lot of misdirection going on up front by John Tyler. They're a tough team to defend, so the Scots are going to have to do a great job of maintaining their contain and leverage and reading those keys in order to make the plays they need to make to be successful.
Well, you look at the 2 common opponents for these 2 sides, Lancaster and
Lone Star.
Lone Star.
Yep.
Thank you, Frisco Lone Star. Well, the Scots really struggled with Lone Star. 10-7 was the final as Highland Park got the win. This Tyler team made easy work of Frisco Lone Star. That thing was over before the 4th quarter even started, and it was 31-13 final. So,
well, as you and
these
I
guys certainly have the Scots' attention.
They're battle tested, and as you and I talked about, Miles, you know, they came and played 2 really good football teams early in the year in Cedar Hill and Longview, 2 really good 6A teams. And mind you, this is a John Tyler team that dropped down from 6A.
Correct.
So they are a very, very large 5A team, just like the Highland Park Scots are. Very little difference there in terms of enrollment size. But again, just a very battle-tested team. And, we saw Lone Star early in the year, and John Tyler made quick work of them.
Here's Chandler Morris on the keeper. Stacked up right there at the 25 for a short gain. The other thing that's different about this team in comparison to the other teams that the Scots have faced, the seniors on this unit. As the Scots want to go fast here, looking deep down the middle, and it's Finn Corwin. Had a chance at that one. It was a great ball by Chandler Morris, but Finn, I think it kind of snuck up on him.
It did.
Couldn't get his hands up.
Yeah, and look at all the white jerseys around Finn Corwin. They know where he is at all times. Here are the Scots. Big 3rd down and long early in the game.
But back to my point here. 14 returning starters from last year and a ton of seniors. Like 18 out of the 22 kids starting for John Tyler are seniors. So a very experienced team compared to a lot of the other teams we faced this year where we're saying, hey, junior, sophomore, they're going to be good. This is the mature version of a team like Timberview or Lancaster.
These two teams are so similar in so many ways.
Defense, this is their first time out of the first half.
The official, but you know, Miles, we talk about the tradition. Now, as a part of that, the reason you can be annually good year after year after year is because of the experience and the fact that you can plug these older young men into the lineup as seniors, even the ones that maybe haven't been on the field, on the varsity field. You know that they're going to be very similar to Highland Park, Miles. You know, there's a lot of these guys out here playing for Highland Park that have no varsity experience coming into this year, yet they continue to produce. Very similar with John Tyler.
Eric, we've already talked about this first quarter being a real strength for HP this year. The only time this season they entered the second quarter either without the lead or tied was against Lancaster. They were down 14-7 in that game. So Highland Park does have a little bit of experience being down. 3 receivers to the top of the screen here for Morris. Wanting to go over the middle, and that ball is dropped. Boy, that ball was forced into coverage. Number 24, Kitten Crawford, had a really good chance at it as Chandler was trying to find Paxton Anderson over the middle. Some friendly fire as 2 Lions ran into each other.
Boy, they did.
And there is a man down at the 44.
Yeah, I hope for the best there, obviously, but, man, that's Cameron Grant. He is their senior leader in the secondary, and, man, he took a shot right there. As you mentioned, 2 John Tyler Lions colliding. Really, there was just nothing there for Chandler Morris. Threw into double coverage, and, frankly, that ball should have been picked.
Well, you never think that it's you never are disregarding a player down on the field. But you know it's an important player when the head coach and the quarterback run out to check on him.
Yeah, they got out there in a hurry, absolutely.
And this is a punting situation for Highland Park.
My assumption is he probably just had the wind knocked out of him right there and took a shot to the midsection.
So it's 4th down and 9, and Andrew Stanzel is out to punt it away, averaging 37 yards a boot with a long of 57, 6 inside the 20. Recently signed with Bucknell to play lacrosse. Told me he was excited about their finance program. And this is an outstanding kick. End over end. Good coverage by the Scots, but they're able to split some defenders. Now there is a flag down on the far side. Looks like this one might be coming back.
Yeah, and that flag may cost John Tyler about 20 yards in field position. That's a big penalty if it does, in fact, go against John Tyler, which the indication is probably going to be a block in the back or a hold, one of the two. And that's, like I said, they had themselves set up with phenomenal field position. That's going to be a hold, and that's going to cost them right at about 20 yards of field position.
So, Eric, we made a lot this year of the Highland Park run defense, and they played some outstanding rushing teams. Mansfield Timberview is a great example. Already 158.
Blocking the back, return team number 7. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, and first down.
Already 158 rushing yards here for John Tyler, and we've said it this all year, and this is a stat that you brought up frequently. Nobody's run for over 200 yards against the Scots this season.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be difficult to keep that stat up coming into this game. Again, the Scots have been dynamic, outstanding against the run all year. Faced some really quality run teams. Lancaster, in my opinion, be at the top of the list. And I'm going to tell you what, they're going to have their work cut out for them today. This is a really good running football team.
Hawkins and Asbell are in the backfield, and the handoff is to Asbell. And he has a short gain up the middle. The Scots feel like they have the football. They have been dominant in the turnover department this season, Highland Park. They have forced 32 fumbles, recovered 16 of them. Got 3 last week, but this is going to stay with the Lions. But Eric, regardless of that play, this is an important drive here for this Highland Park defense.
Absolutely. Certainly don't want to go down 2 scores early in this game, and this is a big drive. Really, in my opinion, Miles, more so for the confidence level of this Highland Park defense.
Scots facing a 2nd down and 8. Still with the two-back set, Hawkins and Asbell in the backfield. And they throw it right side. That's the first catch of the game for Street, and he's quickly stacked up. Nice play out there in space by Chris Reed. Kyle Yeomans, what are you seeing down there on the sideline?
Yeah, you guys talk about the importance of this defensive drive here for Highland Park. I got a chance to listen to Cale Melton in the huddle. He brought the entire defense around the bench in a massive huddle. And the first time, it was after that first drive, said, hey guys, we got to pick it up on your end. The second time he said, that was my fault. That was my fault that we were able to see Woods run free. This time, let's both do our jobs. Let's get a big time stop because they definitely need it here.
Insight by Kyle there. How about Cale Melton taking accountability? That's going to make your players play hard for you. Huge 3rd down and 4. They try the left side. And he's got a first down. And that is Cameron Grant, who just does it all for the Lions.
I'll tell you what, I thought the Scots had it defended well right there, but he's just able to squirt through. Just needed 4 for the first down, and he picks it up. I thought the Scots were in a good position. Again, that just goes to show the confidence level that John Tyler has in this rush game right here. A 3rd and 4, fairly deep in their own territory, and they go right back to the run game.
Grant Gallus is checked in for the Scots on the defensive line. In there for Haynes. They want to throw right side. That's caught by Street. Matched up over there with Hudson Clark. And Eric, you mentioned that matchup. And the Scots are going to be shadowing Keandre Street with Hudson Clark today.
Yeah, I love that matchup. It's one to obviously keep your eyes on. Really nice catch right there by Street. That ball was high. There's that tall, big frame we talked about coming into play. He's able to go up and snatch it out of the air.
About 6'3", 200, committed to Houston. First and 10. Right side handoff. And the Scots plug the hole. How about Ryan Caton in there on the stop? And Caton, we probably have not talked about Ryan Caton enough, Eric. He has 23 solo tackles in the playoffs. That's 13 more than the next closest Scot.
Caton, stud. That's all I know to tell you. He is an absolute stud, and he is coming up. You can tell he's playing like a possessed man here today. He's made some really nice plays early in this game. He's had an unbelievable season. Scots are going to miss him as well back in the secondary.
On the season, 75 tackles now for Ryan. 2nd and 6, man in motion, and they give it to him. He's hit over there by Hudson Clark. The Scots are trying to strip the football. You can see that a lot already in this game. Officials needed to blow the whistle well before they did. And finally they do. The handoff there was to Kalon Warren.
This is it's a tough offense to defend because they, again, so many weapons and there's a lot of misdirection up front. It's a tough one to defend. Big 3rd down here, right? We got about 3rd and 2, Miles?
Yep. Make it 3rd down and 1. Scott's defense has been outstanding in 3rd down situations this year, holding opponents to just a 30% conversion rate. The up man is Asbell. And they hand it off. Right side. That's Crawford.
He didn't get it.
Is stuffed out there by Hudson Clark. That's one of the 5 running backs they use. Kitten Crawford, he's kind of like their Hunter Heath. He averages 12 yards a carry on the year in limited action, but great job by the Scots stuffing him, and that'll bring up 4th down and 2.
Huge play early in this game. I tell you what, Chris Reed and Cal Hershey did a great job of defending that play. This is a big one right here because you talk about getting the momentum back on your side. If you can find a way to get off the football field, give your offense great field position. Big play early in this game.
In the backfield, it's number 6, Hawkins. They hand it to him, right side.
No, sir.
Caton is there. Did he get it? It's going to depend on the spot. And I believe they're going to move the chains. We're going to get a timeout for a measurement. This is the first time I've seen this in a while. Usually this postseason, they've just been, if it's close, they just move the chains.
Yeah, I think they got it based upon the spot. I think they're going to get it. It's really close, but
I believe they have it as well. Regardless of the outcome, it will be the last play of the first quarter. So we'll be flipping sides of the field. And by about the length of a football, it's a John Tyler first down. Big 4th down conversion there by the Lions. Coach Rick Lindholms plays with a lot of confidence. Let's head to a quick break. We'll be right back for the remainder of the first half. You're watching Highland Park football presented by Game On Sports.
Mad for Plaid is the annual campaign benefiting every student, every teacher, and every school in Highland Park. Your donation to the Highland Park Education Foundation will support teachers' salaries at every HPISD school. To donate, visit www.hpef.org today. We need your support. Go Scots!
Back here at the Ford Center at the Frisco Star, I am Miles Dunklin, flanked up here by Eric Cunningham. We've got Paige Schnorbach and Kyle Yeomans down on the sideline. We've got a dandy for you today between the Scots of Highland Park and the Lions of John Tyler. Eric, a big first start to this second quarter here for Highland Park. They need a stop as John Tyler just picked up a 4th down to move the chains.
Yeah, it was a big conversion there on 4th down, and you're right. Be a good time early in this game here for a little turnover action, Miles.
I like the call. On the zone read, it's Woods up the middle. Still loose. Finally dragged down by Hudson Clark, who's an outstanding tackler on the back end, but not only does Woods have breakaway speed, Eric, he's been able to break tackles, something that the Scots don't miss a lot of. They are a really good tackling team.
Yeah, right there again, that zone read look. Tough to defend, and he doesn't need much of a crease, and he has a nice one right there. And again, you mentioned it, his ability to break tackles as well.
Big left side of the offensive line. Chance Billington is 305. Braylon Johnson is 310. And they've been running off that left side. Jabraylon Yarber is one of their two-way starters at right tackle, checking in at 290. And this is the tailback Hawkins going the wrong direction. And Eric, that's what the Scots need. If you're able to get Highland Park and you're able to stay on schedule, aka 2nd and 7, 3rd and 4, you can have success. But the moment you get into 2nd and 11, then you're going to have problems.
Well, that's when they pin their ears back and they've been able to get a ton of pressure, and they get you in that, 2nd, 3rd down and long situation where most teams are going to want to throw the ball. That's where the defensive line and linebackers, again, have had so much success for Highland Park.
So after no gain on 1st down, it's 2nd and 10. Everybody's bunched up between the hashes here at the Ford Center. And it's a zone read again, the keeper. And Woods dragged down there by Chris Reed. And boy, the Scots did well without Chris in there, but they're glad to have him back. He's been very productive so far.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Good to see 24 back out there. He's a young man, had a heck of a season. Again, playing that outside backer position. Got to give credit to Beetrell. He's done a tremendous job of coming in and filling in for Chris Reed. Gus Vincent, those guys did a great job, but it's good to see Chris back out on the field, and he's already made some key plays. Big 3rd down right here.
Huge 3rd down and 7 for the Lions. Now they have an excellent field goal kicker. 10 for 12 on the year on field goal attempts, so they're certainly in his range. Scots would love to force the attempt. Woods trying to make something happen. Scrambling, throwing. It's caught. Short of the 1st down, I believe, and there is a flag down as well. It's going to be an illegal man downfield.
Yep. Absolutely.
Good call by the umpire. And boy, if you're Chance Billington and you're 6'3", 305, it's a little bit tougher to sneak down the field.
It is. They're going to typically see you. He is a big young man. It's tough to not get caught on that. He is, I've got to believe that he's going to have some opportunity to go play at the next level because he's a big boy and he can really move as well.
That is a D1 body.
I'm going to tell you what, Woods took a shot right there when he let the football go. And
well, Eric, you got to think all within the rules of the game here, but the Scots would love to be able to hit Woods a little bit here in the second quarter and just get him off his game a little bit. Right now they're playing with a lot of confidence, a lot of swagger. Got to hit him in the mouth here.
Yeah, absolutely. And
eligible receiver downfield, number 70 on the offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
And now this is interesting because they declined the penalty. Now, I thought that Street had it closer to the 5-yard line. We're going to see it on the replay here. There he is at about the 7. And they have the ball marked closer to the 10. And Frankie Sanchez is going to come on for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, I don't understand the spot of the football right now.
And that's what Rickland Holmes is saying. They messed up the spot here.
Yeah, that should be on the.
And I bet you the Scots would accept the penalty if they knew where the ball was spotted.
Yeah, and he's going over right now to tell him that's an incorrect spot. It should be on the 7 or 8 yard line, and I'll guarantee you Coach Allen is going to accept the penalty now that he knows that.
Officials are having a hard time so
struggling.
far.
The pass.
And they are still struggling. I think we know how this is going to get sorted out. It's just going to take him a minute to
take
get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Rickland Holmes, that ball should have been up on about the 7 or 8 yard line. That's where the catch was made. If the Scots decline the penalty, that's where the ball should be. Now they've got it all the way back on the – they're going to accept the penalty. Yep.
And that makes sense.
We'll replay 3rd down.
And now it will be 3rd down.
The pass was completed. We have it eligible downfield against the offense, number 70. It's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
All right.
There we go.
Little Bronx cheer from the crowd here as they get it figured out.
I love the effort by Coach Allen, though. Hey, if the ball's on the 13 or 14, decline it, make them kick it. Absolutely.
Okay, so now you got to face a 3rd down and 13. You need a stop. The Scots in 3rd down and long on defense this year. They've been outstanding. Just allowed 16 first downs on 102 attempts.
It's interested to see what John Tyler goes to here. Keep your eyes on that matchup, 13 and 14.
2-by-2 set.
There it is.
Woods wanting to throw deep over the middle. It's intercepted by Hudson Clark.
There you go. Keep your eyes on 13 and 14, baby. He just jumped the route. I mean, he baited him perfectly. Because I'm going to tell you what, Miles Dumplin, I thought Street was open. And Hudson Clark said, don't worry about it, boys. I got this well under control. He jumped the route. You can't throw the football into his area because he's going to make the play. The only downside is that I wish he would have gone into the end zone. Unfortunately, we'll take it. Football's on the 1 yard line. Great play by Hudson Clark.
Hudson Clark has done it all for Highland Park. That is his 7th INT in 12 games this season. That's production. That's catching the ball at a rate that receivers would like to catch the ball. So Highland Park needs to get it out of their own end zone now. It's a high snap. Morris wants to throw. There's Finn Corwin. And Corwin will give Highland Park a little bit of breathing room, make it his 20th consecutive game with a reception for Finn Corwin.
Well, first of all, great catch on the snap by Chandler Morris. That was a high snap, had some velocity on it. He does a great job of just corralling it, first of all, and then, man, what a great job of just giving the Scots some breathing room.
2nd down and 2 now for Highland Park. And they hand it to Benner Page, spinning off a tackler at the 10. And I believe Benner will have a Scott 1st down to the 12.
Miles, I'm going to tell you what. If the Scots can find a way to go down and get points on the board, what a shift in momentum. Here's John Tyler, puts together a nice drive. They get all the way down inside the red zone by the Scots. And if the Scotties find a way, obviously they get the turnover, but if they can convert a 99-yard drive, you've got to believe that's a massive shot in the arm for the Scotties.
Well, they had a 99-yarder against College Station. They actually didn't score on that drive. Another handoff to Page, and he's going to lose yards this time. There is a flag down. Can't even imagine there was time for a holding call on that play. But that was number 5, getting into the backfield, Christian Hartsfield. And I was really impressed with 5 on film. Very quick and strong.
This is a big call right here. Oh. We call it chop block, a 15-yarder. be half the distance.
The distance to the goal. And it will be declined by the Lions. I think that makes
Personal
sense.
foul, chop block against the offense. That penalty is declined. Second down.
Huge point in the game here for Highland Park. They've not spent a lot of time trailing this season. We went over that last week. About 3% of the year have they been behind. They go with the hard count. Now they go check with me. Look over to Tristan Weber, Ryan Gibbs, and Morgan Stringer in the neon hat, signaling in the play call. Morris wanting to throw it. Now he has to take off and run, and he's going to be sacked. And that was just covered up from the start. The tackle made there by Tyrell Jones. And Eric, Tyrell Jones looks a little bit different than the linebackers the Scots have played against this season.
He's a man-child. He really is. Not only that, but he can really run. Tell you what, yeah, these John Tyler lines have, they're thick lower half.
They look like a 6'8".
They do. Well, first, that again, kind of a tough snap to handle right there. Kind of threw the timing off on the play.
3rd and 15. Morris needs a conversion, standing in his own end zone, flinging it to Finn Corwin, who has it, making a man miss. And a Scott first down to the 25. And just when they need a big play, where's number 16?
Tell you what, we saw that one developing for a long time, and great job up front by the Scott offensive line, but give Chandler an opportunity to step up. But I'm going to tell you, if you're John Tyler, I don't know how you cut 16 loose. I mean, he's just running free right up the middle of the field. He's wide open.
Great job by the offensive line. Quickly, let's head down to Paige Schnorbach on the sideline.
Guys, Highland Park knows their offense is up against a tough challenge here with John Tyler's defense. Coach Weber telling the receivers, be patient, wait for your moment, and then get the ball. Back to y'all.
And there's Finn Corwin patiently trying the right side, and Finn, another first down for Highland Park, and boy, he really makes them go, Eric Cunningham. What an incredible career for Finn. One more catch. Finn will be in the 100 catch club at Highland Park.
100 catches. Has he surpassed the 2,000 yards?
Wow. Went over it last week.
What a career. And tell you what,
27 touchdowns.
Finn has every expectation in the world to play this one in 2 more games, my friend.
Sam Morse has checked in at H-back. And they had Spinner Page running behind Morse. Check that. It's a play-action pass.
Boy, there was a lot of
the interference.
Yeah, there was a lot of tugging on the jersey and kind of pulling the body of Finn Corwin.
Roy Lampton. And Eric, this is kind of like when Highland Park goes up against one of those DISD teams in basketball. You need to get those hand check calls if you're Highland Park, right? Because this is a team in John Tyler that wants to hold on offense. They want to be very physical on defense. And it's important to get some of these calls here early in the game.
Yeah, again, playing a very physical game. Unfortunately, lots of times this time of year in the playoffs, the officials are going to swallow their whistle.
There's the sprint draw play. Lots of running room for Benner Page. It was Sam Morse leading the way. And boy, watching the film last week, when Sam Morse was in the game, he was dominating the player lined up against him.
Absolutely. Sam is, again, one of those young men that kind of hit his stride midway through the season with this varsity crew, and he's just gotten better and better. And, boy, he led the way, and after that play ended, he stood up and clapped his hands because that's what you call a pancake block right there.
And with Morse in the game, here comes Hunter Heath, averaging 11.8 yards per carry. Heath next to Morris, and they give it to him. Heath can really run. And he's across the 40, a 5-yard pickup.
We talked
on first down.
We talked about the left side of the offensive line of John Tyler. Let's talk about the left side of the offensive line for Highland Park. Ryan Butts, Reagan Riddle. Of course, you throw Sam Morse in there. That's a lot of beef to run behind.
It'll be Hunter Heath staying in the game, as well as Sam Morse. All 3 of the players right now in the backfield for Highland Park coming back next year. The sniffer look here on 2nd and 4. Play action. Morris wants to go deep, and he just missed Drew Dodge.
Oh, he had him. Yep, just a hair overthrown. It's tough to overthrow him, and Drew just about comes down with it. But what a route run right there. Love the play action. Hold those linebackers. Pull the safety up. Well, I know Chandler wants that one again.
He was working on Jared Mosley.
Big third down.
3rd down and 4. Scots would love to tie this thing up before halftime. We got ourselves a great one here at the Ford Center. And on 3rd and 4, it's Morris on play action. Wants to go to Drew Scott, and it's off his hands, incomplete. Scots have been uncharacteristic dropping the football today. And Drew
he's hurt. Yeah.
Banged up. Now they can deploy Bennett Brown, who has a lot of experience at outside receiver. And here comes Bennett, as well as Ben Smith. And Sam Morse will leave the field.
Well, it's tough to see Drew Scott go off the field. He has been playing so well. Tough to see him exit. Hopefully he's able to make a return, maybe just kind of a stinger type deal. He took quite a blow there at the end of that play, as you see.
Fell down on the left shoulder. Here it is, 4th down and 4. Morris finds Finn Corwin, and he's hit right there at the 35.
They give it to him.
That is career catch number 100 for Finn Corwin, one of the all-time greats to play inside receiver at Highland Park. It's going to depend on the spot, though, whether or not it's a Scott first down.
There's no way they can run all the way across the field and move this football. That's a first down.
They're going to move the chains.
Yep.
Eric, real quickly, Finn Corwin as one of the all-time greats at Highland Park. At that inside receiver position.
There is no doubt. There is no doubt whatsoever. When I think about
Mount Rushmore of inside receivers.
When I think about the all-time greats, and again, I've been around since about 2004, 2005 range. Of course, that first year with the Dickinson twins, they were phenomenal, but I put Finn, right up there with those guys.
Go with the pump fake, hand it to Benner Page. Took a hit there at the 33, spun off a man to the 30. Nice running there by Benner.
Man, what a spot that was for the Scots. What a big first down to keep this drive going. Again, let's remind everybody, this drive started inside of their own 1-yard line.
Real quickly, just back to that last conversation, I want to not do a disservice to some great players in that position. Russell English. We certainly know about the Dickinson twins. William Morris.
Oh, Josh
Francis. They've had some really great ones. Kevin Kinn, Campbell Brooks, but Finn Corwin might be at the top of the list all time at that position. 2nd down and 6, and it's Morris keeping it left side, breaking a tackle into the open field, down to the sideline.
Yes, sir.
Morris diving for the pylon.
Give it to him. Boom.
Touchdown, Highland Park.
What a run, son. What a run.
99 yards for the score.
Now that is a championship drive right there, Miles Dunklin. I say that oftentimes with this team, but they always seem to find a way to answer the call. Started with the pick, and what a drive right there by Highland Park. What a run. Breaks that initial tackle at the line of scrimmage and takes it to the house and finishes it off with the dive for the pylon.
99-yard drive by Highland Park. Now they still have their work cut out for them here as the game is now tied due to the Wesley Winters extra point. And it will be Tyler getting the football to start the 3rd quarter. So you got to get a stop here with 3:46 remaining. But that was a big step toward Highland Park's victory today. Let's check in with Paige Schnorbach on the sideline.
Guys, it's not often during a game that we see emotion from Randy Allen. That usually comes after, but that run got a fist pump from him. Back to y'all.
Well, Paige, to your point, I love going back and watching the film after these games. And, for example, on the great punt return by Highland Park last week on the Deke. Eric, we didn't really talk about it last week. It was a fantastic play.
We didn't recognize it at the time. Yeah.
But everybody on the sideline, everybody in the building is fired up. You look at Randy Allen, just absolutely
solemn, just calm as can be.
Stone cold like he is after a first down run for 4 yards.
He's a legend, and he knows there's going to be peaks and valleys, and just stay in the course, stay in it. Miles Dunklin, how about this drive, my friend? Hey, 14 plays. It ate up 5 minutes and 31 seconds. 99 yards capped off with a score by that young man right there, Chandler Morris. What a drive, an answer by the Highland Park Scots. You know, as Paige touched on, it's not often you see a reaction out of Coach Allen, but I guarantee you he knows how critical that sequence right there. Again, Hudson Clark with the pick, big-time pick there on 3rd and long, and then a 99-yard drive What an answer by Highland Park.
And it's Wesley Winters kicking it deep into the end zone for the touchback. So, as I mentioned, an important drive here for the Scott defense. But first, let's get an update from Kyle Yeomans on Drew Scott's status.
Yeah, Miles, Drew Scott, of course, in reaching out for that one diving catch, kind of fell awkwardly on that left collarbone. They've taken the pads off. He's going to be in the sling for at least the remainder of the first half. I'd probably say doubtful for the rest of the game, guys.
That's a huge loss for Highland Park. They're very deep at outside receiver, but Drew Scott has been dominating this playoff run. 20 yards a catch, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, you can just tell how he ran off the field. It didn't look real good.
And a stuff right here for Highland Park as Grant Gallus is all over the John Tyler runner.
Well,
Eric, we've talked all year about adjustments, how the Scots get better as the game goes along. It's showing up right now.
Well, they adjust and they also feed off one another. They're going to feed off the energy that drive just provided to them. I guarantee you can see there's energy back on the sideline, in the stands, and on this defense. If they find a way to get a stop right here, it would be critical, again, to maintaining the momentum on the side of the Scots.
Already 204 rushing yards for John Tyler as Woods wants to go deep, right side. There's Street with the catch at the 40, and a John Tyler first down.
Well, I'll tell you what, Devion Woods, he can spin it, brother. He really can. He's also very accurate. Again, Hudson Clark jumped that last route. Not oftentimes you see Woods throwing picks. But, the Scots are going to have to account for that. Unfortunately, Hudson Clark's having to give about a 7 or 8 yard cushion because of the speed that Street possesses.
3 receivers to the left here for Woods. Well, they hand it off up the gut. The Scots do a great job stuffing it. Saw number 20, Patrick Turner, flashing in right there. And boy, has he been good for Highland Park. Reed and Dorba in there as well. Kyle Yeomans, what do you see down there with that matchup with Keandre Street and Hudson Clark?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You look at Keandre Street, and maybe it's because we're in the Ford Center again, but you remember the last time Highland Park was here, they faced Texarkana, Texas High, who had Tavalance Hunt, who committed to TCU and rolled with the Horned Frogs. Same size matchup on that outside. They were not able to slow down Hunt very well last year, so it's going to be interesting to see what they're able to do against Street. Today, he's already had a couple of catches and 800 yards receiving on the season for big number 13.
I think the most impressive stat's got to be his yards per catch average at 26.5. And here with a minute 45 left, it's a 3rd down and 2 as Woods takes it off left tackle. But Kyle, to your point, they played a lot of great receivers. Certainly Jalen Preston, Cam Scott in the state championship game.
Definitely.
3rd and 2, inside handoff. He's hit immediately, shy of the line. Now the spot might be good enough, and maybe Hawkins fell across there. You mentioned his lower half. Eric, he's 5'7", but pushing 200 pounds. And spent a little bit of time at the squat rack.
Yes, sir. A lot of these young men have. You look down on John Tyler's sideline. I mean, these guys are thick.
It's
on their
4th down and
half.
1. And there's a minute 24 on the clock. So this is a big sequence in the game. If John Tyler can go down and score here, and now they're going to bring out the chains, I think it's going to be well short. And it is. But if they can go down and score, they'll get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. But if Highland Park can get a stop here, put some points on the board before the end of the 2nd quarter, then it's all momentum for the Scots.
Yeah, I certainly feel like Coach Holmes is going to roll the dice right here. He's proven that he is not afraid to roll the dice and go for it on a 4th down. Again, huge play in this football game.
And it looks like they will be going for it. It's Hawkins and Asbell in the backfield here with Devlin Woods. Scots shift up front. They hand it off. Hawkins has lots of running room. He's going to take it to the house. Broke through the first line of defense, and there was no one there for Highland Park.
Yep. Tell you what, man, I thought Highland Park had the penetration they needed to make that play, and he hurdles that initial surge, and there was just nobody home. Highland Park sold out on the run up front. I think they had it played well. They just weren't able to make the play. Plenty of time on the clock, though, for the Scotties to go find a way to score, which I think is critical because John Tyler gets the football first in the second half.
John Tyler with a big answer on the extra point. Good snap, good hold. Extra point is good. But a big answer to that Highland Park 99-yard drive. As they go back there, you get a good look at Roderick Hawkins, who is their star tailback. Paige Schnorbach, big answer right there for TJT. How'd the Scots handle it on their sideline?
Miles, there's lots of frustration over here. We already know that Coach Melton's a passionate guy. As his players came off, he was asking them, who missed him? Who missed that player? Prince Dorba shaking his head saying, I don't know. Confusion as to how that player got through, but I can guarantee you Coach Melton's going to talk to them about it and try to figure it out.
Well, they had it played perfectly. They had a surge up front. Frankly, I thought initially that they were going to be able to make the play in the backfield, and give credit to Coach Holmes and his staff. They roll the dice, they go for it, and they're able to execute. And that's not uncommon to see on a 4th down and short play like that for the opposing team to sell out, to stop the run. Unfortunately, if you don't make that play initially, there's just nobody on the back end to help you out.
Chance of Cujo here on the near sideline for the TJT faithful. And Sanchez gets into this one. It's high and over all the Scots' heads into the end zone. I was watching him kick in the pregame, and he has got an incredible leg, maybe the best the Scots have seen this year. Eric Cunningham, 1:11 on the clock. Scots trail here by 7. What's the game plan for Randy Allen starting at his own 25-yard line?
Understand that, it's not a must-score situation, so you don't have to score at all costs. Certainly you don't want to make a big mistake and give up more points going into the half. Again, this is where Coach Allen has seems to find a way to pull a rabbit out of his hat. I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see some sort of a trick play.
And they have all 3 timeouts. Morris has plenty of time. Now he's going to step up and run. Right side, and he'll have about a 2-yard gain. Chandler does a great job of protecting himself, barely takes hits, able to get out of bounds.
But again, you just want to, do your best to execute. There's a lot of football left in this game. Ton of football left. Hate to not see Drew Scott out there, but
Caden Davis was just in the game.
Caden was in, but Bennett has now moved into the right outside receiver. Bennett's been a very productive player and knows that he can get it done out there, I guarantee you.
On the season, 3 touchdowns, 179 yards. They set up the screen,
Woo.
And it's too tall for Benner Page.
Well defended, just wasn't there. Good job right there by John Tyler. And see, now you're in that situation where it's, the Scots have now only been able to run about 13 seconds off the clock or so. In a 3rd down and long situation deep in their own territory.
Paxton Anderson is in at the top of the screen. Ben Smith and Finn Corwin in the slot. Bennett Brown bottom of the screen. Morris rolling, pumping. He's going to be sacked. At the 27-yard line, immediately Rickland Holmes and TJT take a timeout.
Yeah, just a tough possession right there for Highland Park.
On the first half.
I think right there.
Game clock to 51 seconds. 51 seconds on the game clock.
The sack was made by big number 52.
Well, I think right there.
Braylon Yarber.
Chandler wanted to go to Ben Smith. He ran the out route.
It was actually Kimbrick McCaney, one of the few juniors on this team. They did a good job blocking, just coverage sack.
Well, and punting the football is not necessarily a bad thing right now. You punt it, try to get, flip the field position. You just don't want to make a big mistake deep in your own territory.
And I believe This is the first time this year and the half is not over, but the Highland Park has trailed at halftime. Andrew Stanzel is back deep to punt it away. Kip Miller is the deep snapper. It's a good snap. And Stanzel gets into this one. High spiraling kick, and it will be caught at the 25.
What a kick.
Scots are all over it. Great coverage on the back end. And Andrew Stanzel just did a fantastic job of making it difficult here on TJT if they want to get some points before the end of the half.
Exactly what the Scots needed was a big-time punt by Big 82, and he does a great job of hitting a really nice spiraling kick. Flip the field. Again, don't want to give up anything big right here, and more than likely just go in at half at 7, knowing you've got a lot of football left in the second half.
We've talked all year about the Scots' ability to make second half adjustments. By the way, at halftime, we're going to have Kyle Yeomans, as well as Guy Frazier, take a look around the area. What's up next if Highland Park were to move on? 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. And Hawkins is loose. And Highland Park did well to trip him up there for a moment. Eric, it looked like he might have a chance to house it, but got it all the way to the 50, and now they've gone from conservative to aggressive.
Well, they've got 2 timeouts left in their back pocket. And again, we talked about the kicking game for John Tyler and how good it is. Now, they've got score on their mind right now.
Woods wants to go deep. There's Street, and he dropped the ball. Looked like he had it at the 30.
Well, good job right there of Hudson Clark and not giving up on the play. Again, just you never know, punching that football out at the last second. Get a good look of it right there.
Great follow through with his right hand.
Absolutely. Don't give up on it.
He's a big-time player.
Yep.
Still can't believe he's left off the ballot for the Whataburger all-super team.
Thievery.
Same with Prince Dorba, not even on the list. Not even a nominee. Second down and 10. 1 timeout for the Lions. Ball's at midfield.
Oh!
And it goes past Woods. But a timeout was taken first by Roderick Rickland Holmes.
Timeout. Offense. This is John Tyler's 3rd and final timeout of the first half.
That's why the snap got past Devlin Woods. He was looking at the sideline. Unbelievable. Eric, last week I was here for Birdville and Grapevine after Highland Park played. The game goes to overtime. Birdville scores on the first overtime. Grapevine has the area's leading passer. On the first play of Grapevine's overtime, the snap went over his head all the way back to the 50. They couldn't pick it up. Birdville fell on the ball, and the season was over for Grapevine.
Wow. That's a tough way to lose right there.
Sure is.
What a game and a tough way to lose.
There's been some great ones here at the Sports Center already this year.
This time of year, Miles Dunklin, it's never easy to be on the short end of things, but, man, that's a tough way to go out.
Scots needs to defend for the next 17 seconds. Can't let anybody get behind you. Hudson Clark is still matched up with Keandre Street on 2nd and 10. Wood's going to hand it off to Hawkins. He's got running room. There's a flag down behind the play. Hawkins is loose. And finally, Brock Bakich able to track him down. What a play by Bakich to save a touchdown, penalty pending.
It's going to be against John Tyler. Thank you, Lord. And I think it may be a hold.
And to be honest, they've been holding all game.
They probably could have called it, many times prior to this one.
But boy, these guys are good, Eric.
They're good. No, there's not. Hey, let me tell you something, brother. At this point, there's not many teams left playing football in the state of Texas, and if you're left, you can play. And these guys can play.
Rickland Holmes is red hot. Holmes is an interesting guy. I won't say that.
Doing the run. Holding, number 70 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
I won't say that he was rude, but I've very rarely talked to a coach that was as short with me as Rickland Holmes. Every question I had, he had one-word answers. and was not very interested in talking about Highland Park.
Interesting.
Very, very much reminds me of Kevin Kelly from Pulaski. And it looks like now Woods is going to take a knee, and he will. And that'll do it for the first half. John Tyler will take a 21-14 lead to the halftime break. And they will get the ball to start the third quarter. Eric, any final thoughts here on the first half?
Great first half. And, I don't think it's anything that the Scott coaching staff was not expecting. This is a really good football team playing great football at the moment, and they can really run the ball. They're very physical. We talked in the pregame about how it was going to be crucial to win the battle up front, but it's going to be tough to win that battle. And so far, you kind of got to give the edge to John Tyler up front. They're doing a great job, both sides of the ball. What a drive by the Scots on that 99-yard drive, but a great first half of football, and it's going to be really, really exciting, and I fully expect this thing to come down to the wire in the fourth quarter.
24 minutes of action remain. We're going to take a break and then be back as we will talk about the first half stats as well as look around the rest of the 5A Division I bracket. We're also going to have our buddy Kyle Yeomans with us here at halftime. That's next as you're watching Highland Park football presented by Game On Sports.
I'm Al Bernay of Al Bernay's Restaurant Group. My experience of getting my car through Audi Dallas could not have been better. We do so well here at Al Bernay's because we really do care about attention to details. I appreciate when people really know how to give you hospitality and make you feel important. And Audi Dallas, they have it down. You enjoy being there so much, it's like, I don't want to leave. It's unbelievable customer service. It was just perfect. Audi Dallas is really what a luxury dealership should be.
Mad for Plaid is the annual campaign benefiting every student, every teacher, and every school in Highland Park. Your donation to the Highland Park Education Foundation will support teachers' salaries at every HPISD school. To donate, visit www.hpef.org today. We need your support. Go Scots!
Welcome back to the Ford Center at the Frisco Star. Glad to be joined by our buddy Kyle Yeomans.
What's up, man?
Up here in the booth. And Kyle, first of all, to the Scott fans that haven't been keeping up with you, what's going on with you?
Well, a lot, actually. Working down in Waco, Texas, the greatest place on God's green earth, as we like to call it. Not necessarily, but love it down there in Waco. And working for ESPN Central Texas. And then also on Fridays, hosting a show with Mr. Fred Garner and company. I'll be hosting the show with Zach Wolchuk, who's also very familiar to Scotty fans throughout lacrosse and basketball and baseball. And then we do Friday Night Stars. It's a high school scoreboard show, so check it out. We're on Twitter at Friday_Stars. You can like our Facebook page as well. But having a ton of fun with that, talking a whole lot of Scots. You've been on the show a couple different times, sporting the Scots for sure. And a ton of love for Highland Park throughout that entire show because of how we've been around the program, and especially just what's kind of conspired over the last couple of years with the 28 straight wins and everything that has come about with Coach Allen and company. It's been a whole lot of fun, but definitely a good game here tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, and it's been an entertaining one nonetheless. And who's who of coaches and programs down on the sideline. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. I saw some Arkansas scouts. I saw Matt Wells, the new head coach of Texas Tech and the Red Raiders. His entire coaching staff is on hand. I saw Alabama, Rice, North Texas. Anybody in college football that likes to recruit the Dallas-Fort Worth area is in the Ford Center tonight. It's been a lot of fun being able to kind of walk around and see the different programs that are being represented, but it is a big-time game, and the stands could not be better.
Oh, I mean, a great turnout from both fan bases today. But, I mean, that's been the way it has been all year at the start in terms of having people out. But today, boy, we got some great football today with
For
South
sure.
Lake Carroll and Duncanville up next, and then Birdville and Denton Ryan after that. And we'll get into the look around the area in just a moment. But quickly, let's run through those first half stats, Kyle.
Yeah.
And Highland Park had yet to allow a 200-yard rusher in this season.
Yeah.
And they gave up 283.
Goodness.
There in the first half, 324 yards of offense for John Tyler. So by no means a fluke there for the Lions in the first half. They earned every one of those 21 points that they had. Only 41 passing yards for the Lions, but 283 on the ground, 11.3 yards per attempt for Highland Park. Just 5 of 14 passing. So a little bit out of character there as well. Now, 14.2 yards per pass. They have 71 passing yards in the game, 134 rushing.
Yeah, and you mentioned just going back to that rushing total for John Tyler, 283 yards total. That's exactly what the identity of this team is. When you look at Devlin Woods, when you look at Roderick Hopkins back there and the way that they're able to run the football, you look at rushing yards per game, 257 rushing yards per game, and then they only pass for just under 200 yards on average. So this is a rush-heavy team. And last night, I think on the show, Eric Chiafalo was talking about this game. And at one point, he said last week, John Tyler did not throw the football a whole lot. And they run the football. That's where their identity is built around. And they like to slow down the game, especially against a high-powered offense like you see in Highland Park. And so the fact that they've been able to do it in the first half is impressive. And you talk about the 200 yards on the ground. That's impressive. But I think holding Highland Park to 205 yards passing, you got to look at that as well. Right. Or 71 yards passing. I think that is a huge credit to their defense.
Well, they had a couple drops.
Yeah.
Right, in some big situations. And losing Drew Scott there is a massive injury for Highland Park. He's been their stud on the outside, especially during this playoff run. But, Kyle, it's not like this is the first potent rushing attack that Highland Park has gone up against this season. Lancaster, Mansfield, Timberview, certainly Legacy, lots of good teams on their schedule. Lone Star, Mesquite Horn had their district MVP. Givens, a great player. So this is nothing new, but give credit to the Lions executing. Let's continue to run through these stats. Devlin Woods, 4 out of 6 for 41 yards and an INT, and boy, was that a big one.
Yeah, that was a huge interception.
Hudson Clark.
Oh, yeah.
Devlin Woods rushing, 7 for 124. Hawkins, 12 for 119. Grant, 3 for 30. And then Asbell, Warren, and Crawford all have 1 carry. Receiving, 3 for 34 for Street. 1 for 7 for Warren. For the Scots, just 35% passing. Now, Morris is a 66% passer on the season, so you imagine they'll be a little bit more efficient in the second half. Chandler's just 5 out of 14 for 71 yards and a touchdown, but he did run one in, 6 for 34 and a touchdown. But Benner Page had an outstanding first half, pacing the Scots in the running game, 6 for 72. Finn Corwin, 1 for 19. Hunter Heath, 1 for 6. And Avery Lewis, 1 for 3. I believe that second carry was actually by Hunter Heath as well. So we'll give Hunter 2 for 9. Receiving, Finn, 3 for 28. I believe that's incorrect, and he has 4 catches for about 47 yards. That 4th catch put him at 100 in his career. Drew Scott, 1 for 25, and Ben Smith, 1 for 18. What jumps off the stat sheet to you, Kyle?
Well, you look at 5 for 13 passing for Chandler Morris, and you mentioned it earlier. That's not going to stay the same. And you don't see a 60% passer all of a sudden go down to 35% on a single half and end up going into that same sort of output in the second half as well. I don't think you look at Chandler Morris and say he's going to have that same type of second half. He's going to turn some things around, and he's going to be able to at least fix some of those issues. They're going to go in the locker room. They're going to try and get Finn Corwin open a little bit more. 4 catches, you would maybe want a couple more from him, but I think that's definitely the biggest thing that stands out to me from the Scott side.
Now, Kyle, I'm going to let you host here.
Okay.
I'm going to give my headset to the guru over here, Guy Frazier, and let you guys take a look around the rest of the 5A Division I bracket.
Sounds good to me. We talked about that Frisco Lone Star team. That's a team that last week John Tyler took care of in emphatic fashion, 31-13, and that's how they got here. You talk about the Lancaster team as well, as Guy Frazier puts on the headset and joins us up here in the Ford Center at the Frisco Star. Guy, glad you're with us again. It's nice being able to roam the sidelines a little bit with you this week.
It's fun.
Looking around in terms of the bracket, of District 5A Division I. Big-time game tonight. Of course, the winner of this game will face the winner of the nightcap tonight, Birdville, Denton Ryan. And, Guy, what do you see coming out of that ball game?
Well, Ryan beat them, by 21 earlier this year. And in that game, Birdville kind of jumped on them early. But then Ryan, I wasn't at the game, but it looked like they kind of displayed their dominance eventually and took over. I kind of think that'll happen again tonight.
Okay.
I think Birdville's a good team, had a really good year. But I think top to bottom, Ryan's the better team. And I think they'll win with ease tonight, actually.
Elsewhere throughout 5A Division I, Wagner 13-1 now as they took down Veterans Memorial 54-21. That game was last night at the Alamodome in San Antonio. So they are into the state semifinals. And then the other state quarterfinal is Shadow Creek and Foster. That game will be played tonight, or this afternoon rather. Actually kicked off about 20 minutes ago. And so that game just now underway. You got Shadow Creek sitting at 13-0. Foster is at 10-3. So
Home of CD Lamb.
You're exactly right. Couple big-time schools on that side of the bracket. And we talked about the Birdville and Denton Ryan game.
Let's touch on that side real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Shadow Creek, it's a brand-new program. I think this is their second year at the varsity level, and they're 13-0. Actually, this might be their first year at the varsity level, in fact. And don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure they're in Alvin ISD, which is where Manville's at. And I think they took some of the overcrowding from Manville, so they have some of those same type of athletes, a lot of speed, a lot of physical players, and obviously they've put together a great season, 13-0.
That's unbelievable. To talk about a first-year varsity program and being able to put up numbers like that, 13-0. And maybe it is a little bit because they're taken from Manville and they're being able to do some sort, maybe not recruiting, but definitely pulling from that talent pool.
Pulling in the same
Exactly. You're exactly right. And so that's definitely fun to look at. Now, you look at the bottom side of that bracket. How good is Wagner as they move on to the state semis?
Well, Wagner's kind of my dark horse.
Okay.
In my bracket, I had Highland Park and Hutto in the state championship, but I wouldn't be surprised if Wagner got there. They run the veer offense, so they're a little bit of a curveball, something you don't see as often. Here's something impressive, though. I think it's the most impressive loss I've seen on any schedule this year. So they've got one loss, and it's the Converse Judson, 6A powerhouse. They lost by a touchdown.
Wow.
Right? So they're battle-tested, but they've played strong in those games. So while it's a loss, it's a great loss. And I love that Wagner team. I haven't got to see them in person yet, but just keeping up with scores, they beat people up. And that Veer offense would be interesting to see in a state championship game.
Just the fact that they only lost by a touchdown, the Converse Judson, who is still in the race in terms of the 6A Division I powerhouse teams, as they're in a state quarterfinal today as well, trying to win their region. Some other scores from and around the area going on down at Waco at McLean Stadium on the campus of Baylor University. Allen leading 7-0. They just put up their first touchdown of the day against Waco Midway. Do want to send our condolences to Coach Terry Gamble and company. His father passed away this morning, and so we do want to send our condolences to Coach Terry Gamble.
Is he on the sideline, or is he taking the day off?
I think he's there. I think he is still coaching. I'm not going to confirm that by any means, but I think he will be coaching today. I'll see if I can get something like that. But yes, it's a sad story for sure. I do want to send our condolences there. Bishop Dunn, also down in Waco last night, gets their state championship taken care of as they win the TAPS Division I state championship 13-9 over Bishop Lynch last night. Very close ball game. Bishop Dunn scored with just about a minute left, or a couple seconds left up on the clock, and then Waco La Vega takes down Argyle, a number one team in the 4A level, and Argyle gets beat last night in Midlothian 31-14. What do you think about that one?
Well, it was a revenge game. They played each other in non-district in a great battle. Argyle got the best of them that time, but it's funny. These two teams met each other in the playoffs a couple years ago in the state championship game, I believe, down in Houston, 2015 season, and La Vega beat Argyle in a big game then. So, yeah, they lost earlier in the season, but they've gotten the best of them the last two times in the playoffs, and that's really when it matters, right? So shout out to that La Vega program.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That is when it matters. And then, of course, today, following this game, we've got Duncanville, South Lake Carroll, most notably probably the highlighted game of the day if you're looking as an outsider into Texas high school football. And that's the game to look out for. You also got Aledo and Frisco Reedy, that game being played at Justin Northwest. What stands out to you, Guy, about those two ball games around the area?
Well, the first one you said there, Duncanville Southlake, that's my game of the week, actually. And I'm a Highland Park grad, but I see that game as that's a money game, right? So going to be a ton of people here. It's going to be a great atmosphere. You're going to have a really good defense, and Duncanville going up a really good running offense for Southlake Carroll, usually a good passing school, but with Mr. McDaniel and company, they're going to pound on the ground. I'm interested to see how Southlake holds up with Duncanville's physicality. And then in the second game you had there, the latter part, Aledo and Reedy. We kind of talked about this on the show last night, Friday Night Stars, but I think Reedy will match up with Aledo in the trenches just fine. Physically, they'll be all right. It's how will they handle the speed out on the perimeter. JoJo Earl, Jace McClellan for Aledo. Those guys are super fast.
Yeah.
I just wonder how does Reedy hold up with that. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, you look at Foskey at the quarterback position for Frisco Reedy. It's going to be a lot on his shoulders, but also the rest of that Frisco Reedy team, because not one player is going to be able to keep up with the firepower that Aledo has. Live here from the Ford Center, you see some of the Christmas sweaters being shown off from the Spirit Squads from around the area between John Tyler, and Highland Park. The Lions of John Tyler lead the Highland Park Scots 21-14 here at halftime. They'll receive the second half kick. The Lions will, and a chance to grow their 7-point lead. But for right now, we're going to step aside and give way to the Highland Bells.
Highland Park High School proudly presents the 2018 Highland Bells. Lieutenants from left to right are Tally Olson, from Marble, Grace Duff, Kate Kilpatrick, and Riley Cheek. For your halftime entertainment, the Bells will perform a holiday hoop routine. Assistant Director is Mrs. Emily Sanchez.
Hi, I'm Al Bernay of Al Bernay's Restaurant Group. My experience of getting my car through Audi Dallas could not have been better. You know, we do so well here at Al Bernay's because we really do care about attention to details. I appreciate when people really know how to give you hospitality and make you feel important. And Audi Dallas, they have it down. You enjoy being there so much, it's like, I don't want to leave. It's unbelievable customer service. It was just perfect. Audi Dallas is really what a luxury dealership should be.
Mad for Plaid is the annual campaign benefiting every student, every teacher, and every school in Highland Park. Your donation to the Highland Park Education Foundation will support teachers' salaries at every HPISD school. To donate, visit www.hpef.org today. We need your support. Go Scots!
When I think Lexus, I automatically think Sewell.
When I look at a license plate that says just Lexus, I'm like, oh, that's good for you. When I see a Sewell on it, I'm like, you know what I know.
I show up and I have my crew with me. They acknowledge me and they acknowledge my children, maybe give them a high five.
You get more than you expect. You get the wow factor at Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and L-certified Lexus vehicles at Sewell Lexus.
Hello and welcome back to the Ford Center at the Frisco Star, Highland Park. And John Tyler, I am Miles Zunklin, joined up here by the coach Eric Cunningham. We have Kyle Yeomans and Paige Schnorbach on the sideline. 21-14 is your halftime score. And this is the first time this season the Scots have trailed at halftime, Eric Cunningham. So, this is a team in Highland Park. They've had a lot of success. 28 consecutive wins, going for number 29 today. They've won 34 of their last 35 games. All that's very impressive, but they need to play a clean 24 minutes here in this second half if they want to get out of here with the win and keep their season alive.
Yeah, Miles, they knew coming into this football game it was going to be a battle. You're right. They are going to have to execute down the stretch. I would fully expect to see, plays made by the guys that have made plays all year long. The Chandler Morris moving into Finn Corwin, Benner Page. Again, big loss with Drew Scott, but then you got Print. The firepower is there defensively. I don't see any reason why these guys won't find a way to step up, make plays, do what they have to do to win this football game. And it's the old saying: Scots find a way. They're going to have to dig deep. It's not going to be easy, but I bet they find a way to get this thing done.
Scots are going to try an onside kick to start the third quarter. I was wondering if might be what they were up to right there. Hayden Kleiss kicked it right to Keandre Street. Let me give a quick correction here. They did trail to College Station 13-7 at the halftime break. Your thoughts on Randy Allen trying the onside to start the third quarter?
Coach Allen lost the sport coat at halftime. He's going to change it up a little bit there. I like the fact that he has confidence in his defense. Why not roll the dice and try to get the momentum back on your side? Give credit to John Tyler. They stayed home. They were able to field a pretty simplistic little onside kick there. But now they have set themselves up with great field position.
They have three receivers to the left of Devlin Woods, who had a big first half and a great start for the Scots.
And look who it is.
It's Prince Dorba.
Well, and notice an interesting little change has been made at the linebacking core. As you see, Beetrell is now out there at outside backer. On the other side, Chris Reed.
Hopkins has gone inside. So a little adjustment there by the Scots. How about John Beetrell into the fire here for Highland Park in a game where they're trailing by 7 and they need him?
Well, he was just a part of that play right there. And we mentioned Prince Dorba coming out of the half, and he gets things going in the right way for the Scotties.
Patrick Turner stays in there at inside linebacker. They hand it up the gut, and he's hit immediately by the sophomore Patrick Turner in there. John Beetrell in there as well.
Let me tell you something. Patrick Turner just went head on with a Mack truck, and he won the battle. What a play by the sophomore, and what a career he is going to have for the Highland Park Scots.
Big 3rd down and 7 upcoming here. John Tyler needs the Highland Park 42. They were good on 3rd down in the first half. Devlin Woods had a monster opening 2 quarters. On play action, rolling out, wanting to go deep down the field, and it's interference going to be called against Whit Winfield. The ball was just slightly underthrown, looking for Nathaniel Hall, and Winfield kind of ran into him. There's also a flag down in the backfield at the 45-yard line, so these might be offsetting.
Let's hope they are. Absolutely. Yep, offsetting. Absolutely. Looks like we may have a hold in the backfield. Pass interference on the back end. I think if Whit just would have turned his head, I doubt that would have been called, but he never did. Made contact early. It was the correct call.
Holding, number 56 on the offense. Defensive pass interference, number 11. Those penalties are going to offset 3rd down.
Oh, and they got Braylon Johnson there for taunting. And Eric Cunningham, that's a big call. And just a foolish mistake there by Braylon Johnson cost his team a 1st down. But Whit Winfield's been playing so well.
He sure has.
For Highland Park. Wasn't targeted, I don't think, at all last week. Had 0 tackles in the game. And that's a great stat if you're a corner.
Absolutely. A lot of respect. We talk about Hudson Clark and the job he does. Winfield been just a staple over there on the other side, the corner.
It's 3rd down and 7 again. Devlin Woods stepping up. He wants to go over the middle, and it's caught. Hauled in at the 15-yard line, but losing his balance was Kaylon Warren. Working in man coverage there and able to get wide open. Thankfully lost his balance, otherwise he would have walked in for a score.
Man, I'll tell you, first of all, a great job up front. Man, he giving Woods plenty of time to throw the football, and he really threw a nice ball. And Warren just able on the fingertips to make the play, and you're right. If he doesn't lose his balance, that's 6.
So the Scots, they've already turned him away inside the goal line once. They hand it here to Hawkins up the gut. Early returns here on tackling and the run game, much better for the Scots here in the 3rd quarter.
Agreed, absolutely. That was a big 3rd down conversion for John Tyler.
Hawkins is going to come out. Cameron Grant is in there.
You got to bow your neck right now.
They have an extra
Park.
offensive tackle in the game, and it's number 62, Ashton Williams, 6 foot, 260-pound sophomore. It's a low snap. And Grant is going to walk into the end zone. Touchdown Lions. They make it 28-14.
Well, that's easy pickings right there. That was, tell you what, really not, again, a good start for the Scots there early in that possession, but they just couldn't get off the field on 3rd down. And then a pretty easy walk-in score right there by John Tyler.
They've done a great job this year defensively. Just 5 plays, 52 yards, 2 minutes, 30 seconds for TJT. But Eric, defensively, the Scots have been so good this year, especially in the 3rd quarter, as we have documented. But John Tyler looks like they're bringing something to the table that has not been there with 13 other opponents Highland Park has faced this season.
Well, I'll tell you, Miles, you and I talked about this before the game and then in the pregame, and the fact that the Scots, John Tyler is a true dual threat program offensively. And, again, they want to run the football effectively. We all know that to be effective at this level, at this stage in the playoffs, you've got to run the football. But what they can do is also throw the ball, and they've got weapons out on the edge to throw the football too. They also are big up front. I talked to some guys at halftime that were down on the field, and everyone that I talked to said, man, John Tyler's big. They are physical, they're big, and they're tough. And the Scots, again, we've said it many times, but they're going to have their work cut out for them here in the second half defensively, but they're going to have to find a way to go put points on the board and hold serve.
Well, since September, the most that anybody scored against Highland Park was College Station with 20 points. Let me just tell you that the point totals against the Scots this year. 42 by Rockwall. Rockwall is one of the best 6A offenses around, and they were rampant cramps. So let's throw that one out. 18-7, 0, 14-7, 0, 0, 14-7, 14, 27. And then here's 28 by TJT, still with 9:26 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
And you can see John Tyler, even though it's early in the second half, they're starting to really feel pretty good about themselves right now. They're kind of hopping around, and I would caution them of doing that. The Scott team can find a way to battle you till the end.
And they hand it off to Benner Page, who had an outstanding first half. Benner, probably the Scots' best offensive weapon in the first half, 6 carries for 72 yards. And he starts off the second half with a short gain. Here comes Avery Lewis into the ball game for Highland Park. 2-back set with Bennett Brown now a starting wide receiver. Morris has an open Drew Dodge, and it's complete at the 40-yard line. First down, Scots.
Boy, a great route run right there by Drew Dodge. They're going to have a big second half out of Dodge. Obviously, Drew Scott went down with the injury. Don't suspect he'll be back out there in the second half. Dodge is going to have to step up, and that was a great route run right there. He ran the defender off of him. Great little comeback route. for the first down.
Ball spotted at the 41. Play action for Chandler. Wants to go deep on the wheel route. Has an open receiver. It's underthrown. And there's going to be interference flags coming in from all over the field. But boy, did he have him. Open down the sideline. I believe that was Avery Lewis.
That was Avery.
Who got loose.
There was a little bit of pressure right in Chandler's face. He wasn't quite able to step into the throw like he normally does. And you can see he's kind of trying to work some soreness out of his shoulder, but they're going to get him on the pass interference. Once again, the DB just doesn't turn and find the football.
Not sure if we can hear it through our microphones, but the Cujo fans don't.
Defensive pass interference, number 16 not playing the ball and making contact. It's a 15-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Great explanation there by our white hat. You can hear the Cujo fans, the TJT fans, with a little chant down there. Well, they have a great atmosphere.
They're getting
here,
into
Eric.
it.
This is as packed as I've seen this building.
Oh, no doubt. Absolutely. I mean, it just about at capacity, Miles. I mean, you see there's a ton of people standing in the end zone area as well.
High snap fielded by Morris. Hands it off to Avery Lewis. Right side, shot down right there at the 43-yard line. Steady Eddie is the term that Ryan Gibbs used to me when I asked him about Avery Lewis yesterday.
Yeah, I love the fact that the Scots have gone to this two-back set. Just adds another dimension in there, another element, another pass protection body. Two-back set is one that the Scots have utilized very successfully over the last couple of years on their way to the state championship runs.
Especially deep in the playoffs. They hand it once again to Avery Lewis. Able to get past the defender and then took a big hit over here on the near sideline. That's going to bring up third down and long.
Yeah, they're going to that zone read look right there, and a little bit of confusion, I think, on behalf of Chandler Morris and Avery Lewis. I think Chandler wanted to pull that ball.
I believe so as well. Huge third down. And 10. Scott seeing the 35-yard line. Chandler, pump fakes, one in the double move, nobody's open, stepping up, he's going to go down. And Eric, that was a max protection. They had 7 guys in, only 3 receivers deployed.
Yep.
Everybody was covered up, so there was nowhere for Chandler to go with the ball.
There was nowhere to throw the football. Really, I think the offensive line did a pretty good job of developing a nice pocket for Chandler, just nowhere to throw the ball. And we're probably in a quick kick situation. I'm going to imagine Coach Allen, still a lot of time left in this game.
But down 14 points here, and quickly half of the third quarter has already gone off the board here. It's just 6:35 and rolling in the third. Morris will kick it. It's a pretty good kick by Chandler. Fielded and dropped. The ball is loose. It's still loose and picked up by the Lions. So Highland Park here trails by 14 for the first time in the second half. Let's check in with Paige Schnorbach on the sideline.
Guys, the pressure is on this Highland Park defense. Coach Melton trying to inspire his team on the sidelines, telling them this is the moment that shows what kind of man you are, what kind of character you have, and just constantly looked around his group and asked them over and over again, how bad do you want it? Back to y'all.
Thanks, Paige. Trying times right now for the Scots. Down 14. They need to stop. Another extra tackle in the game once again for the Lions. And it's Woods keeping it himself, breaking a tackle, still moving across the 25. And Eric, tackling has been a real strength of Highland Park all year. But they have had a hard time tackling the Lions this afternoon.
Yeah, they're struggling right now. And again, let's not kid ourselves. It's not easy. These are big boys. The running backs, again, we've talked about their really thick lower half. There's no doubt they've been in the squat rack, which makes it very challenging to bring them down unless you gang tackle, you wrap up. You just got to hang on and really run to the ball.
They hand it off again. Scott stuff it this time. Doing a lot better job defending the run here in the second half. Now, Eric, this is a team in John Tyler that plays with a lot of confidence. You go to Rick Lindholm's Twitter account. Well, his avatar, his picture on his Twitter is of the 2018 5A Division I State Championship Trophy being awarded to the John Tyler Lions. That is how they feel about their football team. And they look like one of the best teams in the state right now.
Well, they're playing with a ton of confidence right now. There's no doubt about it.
Second down and 7. Woods wants to go deep on the double move. And late, the back judge throws the flag. As Keandre Street was just ever so slightly held up, Coach Cale Melton does not like the call. Neither does Stephen Bird. But there is a flag down. Now let's see if the officials, and they say it's a hold against Highland Park. And you can see Stephen Bird, Scott's terrific safety coach, working on the line judge. And the guy that was really on top of it did not throw the flag, but the back judge did.
Holding number 35 on the defense. It's a 10-yard penalty and a first down.
Scott fans don't like it, but it will move the chains. HP, you can see here, Eric, switching the corners, Winfield and Clark. And they want Hudson Clark to be on Keandre Street. 1st and 10 for the Lions. Already leading by 28. Inside handoff, able to get to the outside, some big-time moves. Just a little setup, able to break contain. And Cameron Grant, whether he's playing safety or running back, is a player.
And they've got that kind of two-headed monster going in at running back right now with obviously Grant. You talked about him. He's going both ways, and then Roderick Hawkins as well. Those two guys are tough to bring down. And right now, they're just wanting to run the football as best they can, run time off this clock, stay ahead of the chains, and so far they've done a good job of that. Scots need a big play. Need a big play for a loss or a turnover.
2nd down and 4. It's Woods keeping it, plunging across midfield, close to another first down.
I'll tell you what, though, really, man, just up front, these big fellas up front for John Tyler, they're really good. They're coached well. They're big. They're physical. And right now, this is a defensive line we've talked about all year long for Highland Park that has just been outstanding. And right now, they're struggling to gain any leverage.
Let's read these big guys' names again. Chance Billington is 6'3", 305. Braylon Johnson is 6', 310. Angel Sarmentio is 6', 260. Jabraylon Barber, 6', 280. And the smallest of them is Victor Gomez, the right guard, at 220 pounds. That is a big group of offensive linemen.
Takes a toll on you as the game progresses. That's a false start.
Bring the inside blitz, and they drew a false start from the Lions.
False start, number 56 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Miles, you and I have talked about it. You know, oftentimes in these urban schools, you know, you just don't see them as disciplined as this team is.
Correct.
And John Tyler is very well coached. They are very disciplined. You don't see many penalties.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Rick Lindholmes told me in talking to him this week, was that he said, hey, Miles, you're going to be surprised that for an urban school, how well coached we are and how disciplined we are. We care about the little things. We care about technique. And it's showing up today.
He's a confident coach. There's no doubt about it.
It's 1st and 15 for John Tyler. And on the outside handoff, that's going to get back close to the original line of scrimmage. Brock Bakic in there on run support, able to turn it up inside, and stop made by Hopkins.
Again, Scott, they just need a big play right here. Somebody's going to have to step up and make a play.
They got a big one from Hudson Clark early on the interception in the end zone. They need another play made right here. It's 2nd down and 10. The clock continues to roll. And this is part of what they do, Eric. And it's Woods throwing it. Lots of running room for Asbell. Asbell down the sideline. And finally driven out over there by Bakic And the Scots now are really on their heels.
Very, very well-designed play right there, and executed extremely well.
But back to the pace by Cujo, by the Lions. Well, it's part of what they did against John Tyler, and what Cale Melton was telling me yesterday, Eric, is that they want to get big plays early. They want to go fast early. Then they totally throttle down and want to be a ball-controlled team late. And they've done that here in the second half. Although they haven't scored yet, Highland Park's only had one possession, and there's only 3:19 on the clock. Clock is stopped right now as Woods hands it off to Hawkins, who is stuffed. But Eric, even on that type of play, even if it's a short gain or no gain, that's another 40 seconds off the clock for the Lions. And they'd be perfectly content here, I think, to kick a field goal, go up by 3 scores, and then even if they turn it over on downs or have to punt on their next couple possessions,
they're eating clock.
They're going to be able to eat a lot of clock. It's going to take a big-time effort at this point by Highland Park. They are behind the 8 ball with 2:44 remaining here in the third quarter, already trailing by 2 touchdowns. And their backs against the wall here in their own red zone. 2nd and 8. Woods, left side, still on his feet, inside the 5. Now there is a flag down in the area of a hold. That might be the Scots saving grace here. Eric, these Scots don't lose a whole lot.
Holding.
Talking with
number 70 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
I was talking with Patrick Turner's dad the other day. He was telling me, look, these guys, they didn't lose when they were freshmen. They didn't lose through their YMCA team, 7th grade, 8th grade. These Scots are used to winning. They've won 34 of their last 35 games and 28 in a row. So
it's abnormal, bro. There's no doubt about it.
In their mindset right now with some adversity,
well,
some real adversity.
You're right. It is real adversity, and you just got to stay the course and trust yourself, trust your teammates. Again, you are the defending back-to-back state champion. You just got to stay the course and find a way to make a play.
And they give it here to Grant, reversing his field, trying to get to the corner. Still making men miss there at the 10. Cameron Grant. Very impressive athlete.
Incredible cutback right there by Grant. I'll tell you, just great vision. Nice cutback.
A couple of these guys for John Tyler, they don't have big offers. They've got some D2 offers, but man, they have some really good football players. This is a massive 3rd down and 4. As Woods takes it left side, getting to the corner. He will walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Lions. And that will make the score 34-14. John Tyler.
Yeah, just a well-designed play right there, keeping the football in Woods' hands. Again, following that big left side of the offensive line, and right now they're playing with a ton of confidence. They really are. And the Scots on the other side, they're facing some serious adversity right now, and it's going to be tough. They just got to, again, need a big play. Number 1 at this point, though, is they need a quick score. Need to find a way to go down, get a quick score.
Well, that drive was not quick. Took off 5 minutes plus 10 plays, 83 yards, and Eric, and this is what teams haven't been able to do against Highland Park, they overcame 3 different penalties on the drive and were still able to get in there for a touchdown.
Well, this is a John Tyler team here, Miles, that, again, the last time these two teams hooked up, John Tyler beat them. And I know they were so anxious. And I guarantee you they had this game, this date circled on their calendar for a long time, hoping they would get a shot at playing Highland Park. Again, this is a team that dropped down from 6A. A lot of tradition. And they weren't scared of the moment coming into this thing, and you can tell they're playing with a ton of confidence. But, again, Miles, this thing's not over. Again, a 21-point game. Scots get a quick score, you just never know. And I guarantee you, if you asked a lot of people last year during that Manville State Championship game, if it was over, a lot of people would have said yes, but the Scots continue to believe. It's going to be difficult, but they can find a way.
Chandler Morris, there's a reason why he's nominated for the Player of the Year in the Dallas area. He's got some magic left in him. It's a shorter kick this time, fielded by Ben Smith at his own 5-yard line. Smith taking it right side, and Ben going to dive across the 30. Nice kick return by Smith. Paige Schnorbach, I saw you right down there by the Scots huddle. What do they have in store for us on this drive?
Guys, what I want to tell you about is the number of incredible shows of leadership going on this sideline. Highland Park is not letting themselves get defeated. Chandler Morris is stepping up. Tyler Kilgus is stepping up. And just now, Reagan Riddle was telling his offensive line, that should make you angry. These points should feel personal. And they're going out there with a chip on their shoulder, ready to defend their title.
Great stuff, Paige. These guys absolutely take this personally. They expect to win. Bennett Brown is wide open, and that ball was nearly intercepted by Kitten Crawford. That's the second time he's had 2 paws on the ball and has not been able to bring it in.
Tell you what, Chandler was directing traffic right there. He wanted Bennett to work his way up the field, and
Bennett kind of stopped after he
Yep.
got past the first line of defense. Chandler wanted him to go deeper, and they just weren't able to get on the same page. Chandler Morris right now is 6 for 16 passing. And they throw it. Corwin wants to throw it back here to Chandler Morris. And he's got some running room. He's got a Scott first down out of bounds at the 42-yard line. And Randy Allen going to empty out the playbook here against the John Tyler Lions.
Absolutely, might as well. And looks like we got a Scott down.
That's Jack Rourke at the 49-yard line. Rourke missed the College Station game with a concussion.
It looked like he
It's
kind
been
of
a really solid piece for him.
Went down awkwardly kind of at the last minute.
Jack's just a junior.
Ooh.
And I'm glad we're not showing that on our cameras right now. This looks like it might be a serious injury.
Yeah, it's kind of strange how almost looked like he kind of tried to get up and went back down, and he's something up. Looks like even something kind of in the midsection is bothering Jack quite a bit.
The Scots have done a fantastic job this season of protecting Chandler Morris, Eric. They've only allowed 12 sacks all year coming into this game, just 1 or just 2 in the playoffs. And on the other side, they've sacked the quarterback 51 times, 13 this postseason. And Jack Rourke has been a big part of that offensive line playing so well.
He sure has. Yeah, Jack has really played well all year long, and not a huge offensive lineman, but yeah, he's really been stellar. A guy that he's very mobile.
About 240 pounds. He's one of their bigger dudes. Had about 60 pounds on Hudson Satanga, who played for him in the College Station game. And we're just hoping for his health right now. He's able to sit up now, and now he's standing. So that's a great sign. Finn Corwin and the rest of the Scott offensive line now over to greet him.
These guys are so close-knit, Miles. They really are, and they love one another. You see, no matter what the scoreboard says, they've got their arm around Jack. He's a key member of this team, and they love him to death. They love each other, and it's very obvious.
Let's see if it is indeed Satanga to replace him in the lineup here. A couple other guys they could use. Campbell Sawstad. And it is Hudson in there at left guard, and now Ryan Butts has kicked over to right guard. So Hudson Satanga, all 5'7", 185, is in there.
Hey, he played great against College Station, my friend.
It's Morris on the option keeper. Big number 25, Jarius Lane, able to drag him down. And Eric, you look at the two middle linebackers, Tyrell Jones and Jarius Lane, number 9 and number 25. They got about 25 to 30 pounds on the guys that Highland Park have at that same position. I mean, those look like college middle linebackers.
They do.
That looks like 6'8" middle linebacker.
And I'm looking down at the tree trunks for legs on number 5 for John Tyler.
I'm very impressed with Christian Hartsfield. He is a player. Lined up over Harrison Hall right now. Play action pass. Morris has time. Nobody open though. Now Chandler takes off and at the last second flings it to Finn Corwin on the far sideline. And there is a flag down.
Yeah, they're going to say he was beyond the line of scrimmage.
Beyond the line of scrimmage.
Illegal forward pass.
Speaking of big boys, number 62.
Sophomore.
Ashton Williams. Now, these guys are almost all seniors. But Ashton Williams, they've been using him as the extra offensive lineman, as well as spotting Jabraylon Yarber at defensive tackle, and he is a load. And this might not be a legal forward pass, it might be an illegal downfield. But regardless, it's an infraction against the Scots. And that's the end of the third quarter.
And now let's go downfield, number 72 on the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. We're going to repeat. Second down.
And John Tyler adds 14 points to their halftime lead. And the new score is 35-14 Lions as we enter the fourth quarter. But Highland Park does have the ball. And we'll see what Randy Allen has up his sleeve when we come back for the final 12 minutes of this one. You're watching Scott Football, presented by Game On Sports.
The customer service is really unparalleled. I've never seen anything like it with any other company.
The emblem, it just says a lot. It means, hey, I bought from Sewell.
They listened to what I had to say and actually cared about my experience.
Every once in a while, you want to be spoiled, and Sewell does that.
It's not just a transaction. That's the thing about Sewell.
I will always drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac or SewellCadillac.com.
Back here at the Ford Center at the Frisco Star. Highland Park focused right now on the task at hand. They need to score 3 touchdowns and keep the Lions out of the end zone to keep their season alive. And it starts here with the second down and 11. Play action. Morris wants to throw it back. There's Benner Page. Got some blocking out in front. Spinning off a tackler at the 50. And then wrapped up at the 46. Now, Eric, they have to have a large sense of urgency at this point. They have to go fast. This is 2-minute drill time from here on out.
Oh, no doubt. Yep, absolutely. Sam Morris coming on the field in that H-back look. But you're going to have to go quick. You got to be in the up-pace tempo right now. Again, need a quick score. It's not abnormal for the Scots to score 21 points in a quarter.
In fact, they scored 31 in the first quarter last week, and there is Finn Corwin's 5th catch of the day. Making 101 in the prolific career of Finnegan Corwin.
Well, how about that drive out of Finn, pick up that first down? I mean, right there. I mean, he catches it on the 48.
Just ran right through Darian Warren. That was the Scott's second third down conversion of the game, just 2 out of 7 today. So Morris with the H-back in there. Play action. Highland Park is all kinds of confused on this play. They had offensive linemen down the field, and that was doomed from the start. You don't see Highland Park get out of sorts with the wrong play call very often.
Yeah, there was some serious confusion right there. Really, Chandler had nobody to throw the football to, Miles.
And if he had, Reagan Riddle was illegally downfield. They didn't know what the right play was.
Well, I mean, if this is indicative, I think it is, of the way this game has gone. Chandler Morris, I mean, he's 6 of 15 for 84 yards and a touchdown. just not the numbers we're accustomed to seeing out of this Highland Park offense.
Updated, make it 8 for 19. And Chandler wants to go back near side on the wheel route. Is that interference? No, it's not. It was great coverage. Number 10, Darion Warren, was running step for step with Avery Lewis. And the Scots just haven't been able to get any separation today, Eric. And on the first couple series of this game, they had some untimely drops when they did have that separation.
Yeah, they did. Absolutely. It was early in the game, but in this juncture of the playoff run, you just got, you got to make those plays. And they did have some, I like your term, untimely. Certainly missing Drew Scott being out on the field right now.
3rd down and 10. Morris wants to go deep, looking for Drew Dodge. He's got him. He hauls it in inside the 10. That's what the Scots needed.
Absolutely what they needed. What a throw right there by Chandler Morris, and what a job by Drew Dodge of creating some separation, running right down the sideline. A perfectly thrown ball by Chandler Morris.
So they got it down to the 6-yard line. Once again, the Scots need to go fast. There is 10:24 on the clock. Morris surveying the field, has a wide open Benner Page, who walks into the end zone for a Scott touchdown.
Not over
Scots
with yet.
are not done yet.
Not over with yet, my friend. Big time answered right there by Highland Park. They had to have it. They get it quick here into the fourth quarter. There's still over 10 minutes left. They cut this thing to a 2-score game.
Not the typical jubilance after a touchdown, just right back to business over there on the sideline. All-important extra point. Good snap by Kilgus, good hold by Corwin, and the extra point is true by Wesley Winters. And Highland Park did go fast on that possession. 9 plays, 69 yards. It took them just 250. And Eric, is it too early to start thinking about onside kick here?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think you can give up that type of field position. I think you kick it deep and play for the stop. Again, it's a 2-possession game right now. They've got to get stops. Regardless, they got to get stops. And, to me, again, I'm also sitting up here by you, Miles Dunklin. I'm not down on the field and certainly don't have the pedigree and the record of Coach Allen.
Nor do I.
But I'll tell you right now, I think you probably kick the football deep and trust your defense. They've played tremendous all year long.
John Tyler has run for 351 yards in the game. That is almost twice the best production they've had against them this year. And you really got to tip the cap to the Lions, Eric. I mean, the Scots have had a really strong schedule and played a lot of really quality running teams. Really haven't faced that many teams that want to throw it. But they face a lot of teams that can run it, and nobody's run it like this, not even close.
Looks like they're going to onside this.
It's a short kick, fair caught, and the catch is made.
I like that.
At the 31-yard
line. Yeah, again, that's a ball that has to be caught. You don't risk the return. But again, you got to make them make a play right there. And I like that. That was well executed by Wesley. All right, D, you got to step up and make a play right here.
Brock Bakich is asking for some noise from the Scott faithful. They need it right here. Every first down that TJT's able to pick up is huge. Scots need a stop on this possession. Keep their season alive. Down by 14. Man in motion. They hand it off. Trying to get to the outside. Great play in space by Ryan Caton as a flag comes in, because it looked like Roderick Hawkins had the corner.
What a play by Caton. Unbelievable. I think we're going to get a hold as well. Yes, sir.
You know what, Eric? Every guy out there right now, maybe with the exception of Morse, Hagenbach, and Turner, all these guys are champions. All these guys have a ring, all right? And they know what it feels like. A couple of them have been there twice.
During the run, holding number 26 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And they know what it felt like to be in that Manville game last year.
Absolutely, they do. They do, and I guarantee you, Miles, they were talking about that on the sideline. Guarantee you. Fellas, we were here about this time last year. We found a way. I guarantee you, there's not going to be any quitting these young men. I promise you that.
No. It's first down and 20. Great start to the drive for the Scots. And up the middle, a broken tackle. And then there's John Beetrell, and boy, has he been good for Highland Park. Didn't think I'd be saying that sentence this late in the season if we weren't talking about a JV game.
Hey.
But he's out there playing very well.
The confidence level, yeah, again. And he's earned it. I mean, the last few weeks, he's been phenomenal. He played great last week.
Had a sack, had a tackle for loss, and an interception last week for the Scots. And there he is, John Beetrell. Second down and 14 to go. Asbell's in motion. Imagine they want to keep it on the ground. In fact, it'll be Woods throwing it. It's intercepted by Hudson Clark, coming back the other way for Highland Park at the 40-yard line. His second pick of the game. The Scots are alive here at the Ford Center.
They're in business, baby. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. Hudson Clark steps up. The senior captain once again read the route to perfection. The Scots had to have it to give themselves an opportunity. What a play by the senior.
That is his 8th interception of the season. It's his 3rd in the last 2 weeks, and he puts some life into that Scott sideline. Why test Hudson Clark? Why throw the ball near number 14 in this situation?
I don't know, but I'll take it.
Why would you do that?
I don't know, but I'll take it. Wow.
The Scots are living here with 9-10.
Don't be shocked if Coach Allen doesn't take a shot right here.
They go with the sprint draw. It's Hunter Heath. And he's stacked up after a short gain. I like the move to go to Hunter Heath here. Give you a little shot in the arm, a guy that can really run.
Well, Kyle, I got to believe things are hopping down there right now, baby.
Tyler sideline, and I'll tell you one word to describe the white jerseys on this side: stunned. Stunned right now. Hudson Clark with the play of the game, and a lot of frustration out of Street. He thought he had a chance to catch that football, just didn't come up with it.
The Scots just missed on that one.
Well, big third down right here. About 3rd and 6. Certainly 4 down. Obviously 4 down territory.
This is maybe the last time I'm ever going to say it. But can we get Hudson Clark a scholarship now? I mean, doing it in the biggest possible stage, in the biggest moment when his team needs it, and he's taken the ball away twice. 3rd down and 6. Chandler Morris, Sports Day HS nominee for Player of the Year. With Benner Page behind him, now they put him in motion. And they throw it to Benner. Get some good blocks on the outside by Corwin.
Attaboy.
And Drew Dodge.
And the
Benner
clock.
Page has a first down and out of bounds as the clock stops.
Love the play call right there. Coach Allen went right back to the same play. A great job of blocking up front right there by the big fellas, as well as Finn Corwin. And a good job of Benner Page of recognizing where the yardage marker was, surpassing it, and getting out of bounds to stop the clock.
And they put him in motion again. They pump.
Oh, he's got him.
He's got Bennett Brown wide open into the end zone. Touchdown, Scots.
There's no fighting these young men, my friend. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't win back-to-back state championships and have the tradition that the Highland Park Scots possess without having some heart and some fight in you, and that's what they're giving you right now, baby.
14 unanswered points by the Scots. Paige Schnorbach, what's the feeling like down there on the Scots sideline right now?
Guys, it's unbelievable. The only word to describe it is crazy. I have never seen this sideline so excited. It is definitely giving me Manville flashbacks, and you should not count this team out of this game. Back to you.
Thank you, Paige. They tack on the extra point. Kyle Yeomans, what's your perspective down there right now?
It's really the same thing, Miles. You look at it from John Tyler's perspective, and they had this game locked up with the football up by 3 possessions and didn't even have any talk of slow it down, take the air out of the football, let's run this clock. They wanted to be aggressive. You saw that on the interception. You want to throw the football on the near sideline, try and get it to your playmaker in Street on the outside. They decided to elect to do that. Hudson Clark made them pay, and whenever Hudson Clark and that defense for Highland Park makes somebody pay, then you better bet that Chandler Morris will follow it up as well. It's a completely different feel down here. Now, with that being said, don't expect John Tyler to lay down here just because Highland Park's back into this thing.
I got news for you, boys. Yeah, we got to give all the credit in the world to Bennett Brown. I mean, what a tremendous job by Bennett Brown. You know, we talk about, we miss Drew Scott, but Bennett has stepped in. He has done exactly what this coaching staff has asked of him all year long. Great athlete, great attitude, great team guy. We got a great shot of him right there, and he just ran an unbelievable route right there to completely turn around the secondary of John Tyler. Now, kick the football deep, trust your defense. There's plenty of time on the clock. Big-time play by Bennett Brown.
And Wesley Winters drills it deep into the end zone for a touchback. And now the Scots defense goes back to work. Boy, I still cannot believe that they threw the ball in the direction of number 14 a few minutes ago.
You want to talk about momentum. It was every ounce of it was on the side of John Tyler about 2.5 minutes ago. And give credit, this Highland Park team has just fought and battled, and now we've got the momentum back on the side of the Scotties, and the Scott faithful are on their feet wanting to stop.
Well, John Tyler in 1994 played maybe the greatest high school football game of all time against Plano East. Well, Highland Park maybe won up them last year against Manville. We got a great game now between these historic programs that have been in some of the greatest games of all time here in the state of Texas.
Absolutely agree. I remember that game between John Tyler and Plano East. Scott Phillips is the head coach of Plano East at that point, and what a football game it was.
It was a state championship for the Lions in 1994. They're third.
Plano East fought all the way back after being down big. Nobody thought they could even do that, and then to give up the long return for a touchdown.
2nd down and 6. They hand it to Hawkins. He's hit immediately by Grant Gallus. And the Scots are all kinds of fired up. John Beetrell in there as well. And now it's a 3rd down for the Lions. How about John Beetrell?
He's given this defense as a whole just a shot of life, man. He really has.
It's 3rd down and 4. The Lions are in desperate need of a conversion. All the momentum right now. Where's blue and gold?
And I got news for you. Woods, his last pass was an interception, so you know he's thinking about that. I'm anxious to see if they put the football in the air right here. I doubt they do.
It's 3rd and 4. They put it in Woods' hands, trying the right side. Prince Dorba's there, still on his feet, and he's stacked up. The Scots are going to get the ball back.
There's no way they were throwing the football right there, and they've got to punt this football. What a play by the Highland Park defense. What an answer. Great job by Dorba of getting penetration in the backfield.
And Eric, now I was asking you a few minutes ago, put me in the shoes of the Scots. Put me now in the shoes of Rickland Holmes. How are you trying to calm your team in this situation?
You better rally the troops in a hurry is all I know to tell you, because again, this Highland Park team, it's just playing with a ton of confidence. And you better calm everybody down. And Chandler Morris is right now, he's in the zone with his arm.
The Scots returned a punt for a touchdown last week. They do the same thing now by dropping Finn Corwin back late. He bobbles the snap. The Scots didn't come after it, but it's an excellent kick. It's going to bounce all the way past Case Savage, and then this is a terrific kick. It started out terribly for the Lions, but it ends up rolling all the way inside the 6. And if Highland Park had come for that punt, they surely would have blocked it.
Give credit to Frankie Sanchez. That was a horrible snap, and he keeps it in front of him like a middle infielder would in baseball and knocks it down and then picks it up, and he's able to get off a tremendous kick.
Highland Park went 99 yards for a touchdown earlier. Well, they're going to need to go 93 yards for a touchdown here. Let's check in with Kyle Yeomans on the sideline.
Yeah, guys, I'm standing right in front of the John Tyler band, so I'm just going to have to apologize for that. But I don't know if I've ever heard such a collective gasp and a sigh of relief for John Tyler on that punt, being able to pin him back. But also in the middle of that, I got to hear a little bit of their defensive huddle before then. Still a lot of confidence there for John Tyler. Even after giving up the touchdown drives, they'll try and stop Chandler Morris here.
Let's go to the 5 wide look. Morris surveying the field, has Finn Corwin over the middle, making a man miss. Finn at the 25, still on his feet to the 30-yard line, and Finn Corwin just giving maximum effort now here late in the year, and boy, he is a man possessed right now. That's his 7th catch of the game.
Well, what a safety net for Chandler Morris to find 16 standing there wide open. Throw it in his direction. He'll find a way to make the play, and then what a pickup it is to get them out of their own, deep in their own territory. Look at Finn, just so patient and calm. Nice,
tough,
stiff arm right there.
Ball came out late. They say he was down. They go with the 5 wide set again. They're already to the 30-yard line. And there's Ben Smith into the open field. Smith breaking a tackle, so good after the catch, and Highland Park has already erased half the field. They're at the 47-yard line.
Well, now they're going to come back with Benner Page. Yeah,
Rickland Holmes needs a timeout.
He's got to have a timeout. I mean, they are reeling right now.
That was like a basketball timeout when it's a 10-0 run. And how about that Scott sideline?
How about the faithful over there for the Scotties? You know what's interesting about this, Miles, is that, you know, as tough as it was at 35-14, down 21, I guarantee you that the Scott faithful, that sideline over there, they didn't bat an eye. They just kept plugging, kept playing. Now, granted, they had to pick it up a notch. They had to go quicker, but the bottom line is they look at it and they say, guys, we've been here before. You know, think about it. Last year, I mean, it was like there's no way they were going to do what they did against Manual. There's no way they were going to beat Denton Ryan 2 years in a row. You know, there's no way but the bottom line is the Scots had confidence. They had, faith in themselves and their teammates. They found a way to get it done. And, again, this thing's not over with yet. Still got a ways to go. But the bottom line is they've given themselves a great opportunity here, and they have, again, got all the momentum on their side right now.
Well, there's a saying that's been around here for a while. It's called Scots find a way. And that's what they're trying to do today. And a lot of this, Eric, has come with Hudson Satanga in the game in there at left guard. How about Hudson?
Hadn't missed a beat. I'm telling you, plug him in. Next man up. Got to hurry.
5:28 here. And there's 5 seconds on the play clock as the Scots go 5 wide. Morris protected well by his offensive line. Now going over the middle, and it's dropped, and then bobbled, and then caught by Ben Smith.
How about those hands by 26? Wow. There's still plenty of time here. Over 5 minutes to play. You really can go to your full playbook.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, this 5 wide set has been outstanding.
Chandler Morris is in some kind of rhythm. He did not have a good first half, but boy, has he been outstanding here in the fourth quarter. He already has 3 touchdown passes in the game. Morris wants to run it here. Lots of running room for Chandler. Across the 40, going to slide down there at the 32-yard line, and Highland Park started this drive at their own 7. They're now deep inside Lion territory.
Well, I love that play call right there. Obviously, everybody knew Chandler's in the zone. He's in a rhythm. Hey, how about a little quarterback draw? Love that play call.
Morris once again has time. There's Finn Corwin in the flat.
Attaboy.
And he never got tackled on that play. Eventually shoved out of bounds by number 7, Jared Mosley. And Finn playing like a man possessed right now. He has been so good throughout the course of his career, but over these last 5 minutes, taking it to another level. They stay with the 5 wide set. 4.5 minutes left, and this classic here from the Ford Center. Morris stepping up. It's a QB draw all the way. Gets a good block from Harrison Hall and slides down at the 15-yard line. The Scots have already gone 80 yards on this drive. What a game.
Unbelievable.
That put Highland Park over 400 yards of offense.
If your heart rate's not up a little bit right now, there's something wrong with you.
I have ran the gamut on emotions in this one. It's a 5 wide set for the Scots. 3 to the left for Morris. Throwing that way. There's Finn Corwin at the 15. And there's about 6 Lions in there trying to bring him down, and they finally do at the 14-yard line. You know, Eric, he's not the biggest, strongest guy out there, but Finn Corwin just plays with a lot of heart.
Boy, he plays hard. He's smart. Plays with a ton of confidence, and you're right. The heart is massive. Again, not massive, as far as his stature, but his heart is, I'll tell you.
It's 2nd down and 7 for the Scots. Under 4 minutes to play. And they run the option. It's Morris, going to keep it all the way. Morris at the 5. Oh. He will score! Highland Park is going to tie the game. Down 35-14. They've come all the way back.
I love it. I mean, I absolutely. This is why. I mean, if you love being a fan of the Highland Park Scots.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry if you're not. There's something wrong with you. These kids just don't quit.
And Rickland Holmes.
They're stunned.
And the TJT sideline is stunned. How about Chandler Morris? That's his 5th touchdown of the game. All important extra point. Good snap, good hold.
Attaboy.
Wesley Winters has no problem making it 35-35. It took Highland Park 8 plays. They went 93 yards in just 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Paige Schnorbach, how's that Highland Park sideline?
Unbelievable is truly the only word. And earlier, Chandler Morris's running touchdown got that fist pump from Coach Allen. This time, no such fist pump because Coach Allen knows there is still plenty of work to do. The game is only tied, and this man is the definition of focus.
What a job by the offensive line up front right there, Miles. I mean, just we talk about this big fellas up front. Just get in there behind these guys. Kilgus, Butts, big Reagan Riddle. How about Satanga over there? Harrison Hall. My God, I could go on for days. And tell you what, man, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, you got to find a way to finish. Right here, you got to find a way to finish. Defense needs another stop. You got all the momentum in the world. Just a tie game. Again, Scotties haven't.
It's not over yet.
Not over yet.
Sure.
We're not up. That's
that
right.
was Chandler Morris, 56th touchdown this season. 56. 5-6. It's Wesley Winters and Hayden Kleiss approaching the football. And it will be Winters kicking it high. Will be fielded by Cameron Grant at his own 5-yard line. Scott's in a good coverage here. And they will get it. Excellent job by Highland Park. Going to hem him in inside the 20-yard line. Complimentary football here by the Scots in the second half. Eric Cunningham.
Miles, I'll tell you, brother.
I mean, how cool is this?
Well, here's the deal.
Win or lose.
At this point in time, John Tyler's got to be thinking, uh-oh, this is not good. We had a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter. It's now tied. Highland Park is, again, these guys are defending state champion. This isn't good.
1st and 10.
Tackle.
Inside handoff. He's going to go down for a loss.
There's nothing
Highland
there.
Park is absolutely swarming defensively right now.
That zone read that gave the Scots so much problems in the first half is just not there right now. The Scots are defending it perfectly. They're getting pressure up front. They're getting some push. The defensive line at this point is winning the line of scrimmage as opposed to losing it like they were in the first half. And I'm going to tell you what, that play has just got, it's gone by the wayside.
The body language right now for TJT is just not there. Hands on hips. 2nd down and 10. Devlin Woods wants to throw right side, and that's caught. Now it's going to depend on the spot whether or not that's a first for Kaylon Warren.
Yeah, give credit right there. That was a huge first down.
So here comes big number 62, the extra offensive lineman for the Lions, Ashton Williams. So they got 6 big boys deployed right now, and they are big.
Hey, why not another turnover right here, Miles?
I like it. I
what
like
do you
the
think,
call.
Buddy? Why not?
2:30 left. Inside handoff. The Scots meet him pretty much immediately up the middle.
Boy, what a tackle by Patrick Turner. My goodness. He's getting up flexing, and he should. I mean, right there, Miles. Roderick Hawkins has all the momentum in the world running right at him, and he just gets stood up. I mean, that is impressive.
Patrick Turner is going to be a D1 linebacker.
There's no doubt.
2nd down and 6 for the Lions, and they have no sense of urgency right now. They look like they want to play for overtime. Under 2 minutes to play now. Devlin Woods wants to throw, escaping to his left, and he's got lots of running room. There is a flag down as Woods is still loose. Multiple flags flying. He's all the way inside the 30 to the 25, but there is a flag down back at the line of scrimmage.
There's flags everywhere.
And right now, Chance Billington, who's got tagged for about 3 holding calls already, is just besides himself.
Well, Chance hadn't moved. He knows it's coming back. He hadn't even gone down to join his teammates.
There might be 2 holds here against.
Yeah, everybody knows.
The
Everybody's
Lions.
walking back that way. Yep.
But boy, what a playmaker is Devlin Woods.
He's a player. He's a player.
I'm actually pretty surprised he only has 475 rushing yards this year.
Likewise.
During the run, holding, number 56 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
And they get Braylon Johnson there, the 310-pound senior. And you can see it right there working on Grant Gauss. Great job by our camera crew, and there's the hold. And there was one on Beetrell as well, I think. It's second down and 17 for the Lions. Their fans don't like that call, but 1:24 on the clock. Second and 16. Woods rolling right, throwing. It's caught there by Warren, crawling to about the 36-yard line. Nice job after the catch there by Warren. And that'll bring up a third down and about 2 here for the Lions of John Tyler. We came into this game talking about the history of the 2 programs. 1,541 wins between these 2 teams. 8 state championships. Well, this game is going to go down in the history books as a classic. Ball's at the 36. They need a 39. Woods facing some pressure, flipping it. It's incomplete. Highland Park is going to get the ball back in regulation with 38 seconds left. And Eric, I think just based on the way they were calling plays on that series, the confidence of John Tyler has been completely rocked.
Oh, it has. I'll tell you, hey, big snap right here. Big snap. And I'm going to tell you, this is where the leg of Frankie Sanchez comes into play.
He's a good one. He's also left-footed.
But Finn has got to find a way to come make this catch. If it's a low punt, you got to come catch the football. Don't let it bounce. Even if you fair catch it, that should salvage you quite a bit of field position.
Scots have 3 timeouts. They want to come block the kick. There's a flag down.
Well, they were coming after it. What's the call here?
They sure were.
They should put the time back on the clock as well.
Absolutely. It should go back to 38 seconds. This is against TJT. Now, like you said, they got to get 7 seconds back on the clock here. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I'm about to have a heart attack. I mean, I can't. And
this is what we were saying in the Manville game last year. We just can't handle this.
False charge. Number 5 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
I love Coach Allen's demeanor. Just nice and easy.
All right, now we got to add the time here. That's critical.
There you go.
Good job by the White Hat.
on the game clock.
All right, now the Scots still want to block it here, Eric, probably, considering the bad snap the last time. We'll see what they do.
John Tyler brought in those big fellas back into the game. Even though they're going to punt it, they brought these guys back into the game to negate the pass rush, or excuse me, the rush of Highland Park.
And the Scots do come after it. It's a good kick. Excellent kick here. And it takes a great Tyler bounce at the end of the play, and it's going to take off a lot of extra time as well. Frankie Sanchez is a weapon. Now, there is another flag down back at the 25-yard line. This might be in the area of a
they're going to call it
running into the kicker.
Oh, yeah, I think they're going to call it chop block. I think they're going to call an illegal block, I believe. They block below the waist. Yeah, they cut block the guy coming in. And I think Coach Allen, I would imagine, will take the penalty and make them kick it again.
Well, I told Frankie Sanchez in the pregame, I said, man, where are you going to play? You're as good a kicker as we've seen all year.
What a punt that was.
And Eric, coaches love left-footed punters.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick in particular.
Yeah, I think they're going to. It's a 15-yarder here, brother.
The Scots still have their defense
below the waist against the kicking team.
15-yard penalty.
15-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
Oh, my.
So they're going to make them re-punt it.
And put time back on the clock.
And just one more chance to maybe have a bad snap or see if Frankie Sanchez can catch this snap again. Make them execute another punt. Scots still have 3 timeouts. And all the momentum if we were to go to overtime.
Wow.
Oh.
And what I don't know is I'm assuming they put time back on the clock. I don't know since the play actually.
I don't think so.
Okay, you're probably right. I'm going to.
And they have marched it way far back. Now they're moving it back up. And now the Scots have gone back to their 2 punt returner look. Eric, this is a chance for them maybe to pull off that deke again.
True.
It's in their repertoire.
They may run some sort of a reverse here on the back end, but I'm going to tell you what, if they can catch the football, hey,
they're set up at the 50-yard line.
Absolutely.
With 27 seconds left. Scots try to come after it. It's a high spiraling kick, and it will go out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Highland Park has 20 seconds, 3 timeouts, and the ball in John Tyler territory.
All 3 timeouts.
Let's go win this one in regulation.
Let's go get it. Hey, Wesley Winters warm that leg up, baby. Again, all 3 timeouts are 20 seconds in plus territory.
I mean, our production guys up here, Troy Gooder, Cookie Hawkins, Silviano Moncada, they're losing it too.
They ought to be. This is unbelievable. And I tell you, look at Grayson Wells. Well, I don't think we don't talk about Grayson enough.
Not nearly enough.
Grayson Wells is, he is the rock with Coach Allen. He is the rock. He gets in that huddle there with those young men. 19 years by his side. He is the associate head coach, offensive coordinator. He runs this offensive line, and here we go, baby.
20 seconds, 3 timeouts for Highland Park. It's a 5 wide receiver look here for Morris. Love to get the ball to about the 20-yard line for Wesley Winters as Morris surveys the field. Wants to go deep, has an open receiver. It's caught by Finn Corwin inside the 10. He will score a Scott touchdown.
Oh my goodness.
Well, they say he's out at the 1-yard line. They called him out at the 1-yard line. There's 11 seconds left. Oh, my goodness. How do you let Finn Corwin get behind you?
What a play call by Coach Allen. Timeout. Are you kidding me? I want to see that again. I mean, from up here, it sure didn't look like he...
Unbelievable. John Tyler is in absolute shock on the near side. Absolute shock. The Scots have stormed back for 21 unanswered here in the 4th quarter, trying to make it 28. They have 2 timeouts there at Cunningham.
What a
throw. They could sneak it here.
Yeah, what a throw by Chandler Morris.
Oh, in the clutch.
And how do you not know where Finn Corwin is?
Unbelievable. Finn Corwin's able to get behind the defense. What a game here at the Ford Center.
Scots find a way.
Hey.
Buddy.
And it's their big guys here in the clutch. It's been Hudson Clark. It's been Finn Corwin. It's been Chandler Morris. And they need about a half a yard to book their ticket to the regional final. The ball is inside the 1-yard line. They have 2 timeouts. So everything's available. Morris. It's going to score! Touchdown, Scots! Highland Park takes the lead, 28 unanswered in the 4th quarter, trailing 35-14. They've come all the way back.
Scots find a way. Period. Unbelievable job by this Highland Park offense. Yeah, I think we got a cramp on Kilgus.
Oh, my God.
But I'm going to tell you what, how about these big fellas up front leading the way right there. There was no way that Chandler Morris was not getting into that end zone right there.
And Eric, they even kind of caught us off guard. They ran to the line, I think really kind of surprised John Tyler. They weren't ready to defend that play when they snapped it. And how about this Highland Park team? Down 21 points without the ball and able to come back.
It's just pure heart,
Put
man.
28 consecutive on the board. All here in the fourth quarter. Eric, last week it was the first quarter where Highland Park put up 31. How about 28 here in the fourth when everything was going against them? We'll have to check in with Paige Schnorbach. She's down there. We actually have a camera shot of her right there. What's it been like to be on the sideline during this comeback for Highland Park?
Miles, it's been such a ride and so much fun. I got to be honest, I almost forgot I had a job to do down here. But this Highland Park team, as y'all have been saying all along, they find a way, and they sure have. 28 unanswered points. Randy Allen has never looked more on his game, and there's just now 9 seconds to see if they can hold on. Back to y'all.
And Kyle Yeomans, I'd like to get your perspective down there as well.
As I'm right behind where Chandler Morris scored that final touchdown with 9 seconds left, and you could see, I mean, it was childhood joy from the entire Highland Park side. Chandler Morris, I don't know if I've seen a vertical as high from number 4 in his entire career. He jumped up and leapt in happiness. Just an outstanding drive, and what a turnaround this has been.
And the Scots tack on the extra point. That was Chandler's 6th touchdown in the game and 57th of the season, just a junior.
Well, Miles, it was a beautiful play call by Coach Allen. They go 5 wide. Finn's lined up as the inside receiver, and he runs kind of an out-and-up wheel route, so to speak, and he's wide open. I mean, I tell you, it was just the perfect play call to fit it in between the safety and the corner. Looked like John Tyler was in a zone coverage right there, and it was just a beautiful play call once again by Coach Allen. And these guys to execute under this pressure, down 21. Wow. Now, hey, mind you, we talked about that state championship game back in the early 90s.
That's right.
You still have to make a play right here. And I bring that up, kind of have that reverse psychology. You know, let's bring it up to know that, hey, you got to execute. You got to. Now, these young men, very few of them were even alive when that took place.
None of them.
But I certainly remember it. I guarantee
94.
you. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Speechless here.
None of them were alive. Let me rephrase myself. My apologies.
1994 was a while ago.
I'm so fired up right now. I don't even know.
9 seconds left in the game. The Scots still have to defend as they're up by 7.
I don't think you even kick it to them.
Wesley Winters
wants
to kick it deep, and he gets all of this one deep into the end zone for a touchback.
Attaboy.
Okay,
Yep.
Eric Cunningham, you got 9 seconds to defend the John Tyler Lions. Highland Park was getting dominated on the stat sheet in this game. They're all the way up to 471 yards of offense. What a ball game today here at the Ford Center. If you bought a ticket, it was worth the price of admission.
Congratulations.
The Scots have opened up the umbrella.
All right. Keep
Back
it.
way deep is Drew Dodge at his own 30-yard line. Scots have just 3 linebackers in the game. Let's see what John Tyler has up their sleeve to try and come back here. Down 7. Throw it right side. That's caught by Keandre Street. He's out of bounds at the 35. This will be, barring a defensive penalty, the last play in the game.
Got Drew Dodge deep, playing center field, baby.
Scots are going to rush 3. They have 5 defensive backs in the game. Devlin Woods wants to throw it deep, being harassed here by Dorba. Gets rid of it. It's an ugly duck, and it will be knocked down, and Highland Park has completed a 28-point fourth quarter comeback and booked their ticket to the regional final.
Scots find a way, my friend. They find a way. What a football game. One of the best I've ever seen.
An all-time great performance by the Highland Park Scots. The most storied program in Texas high school football adds another epic chapter to the book. You feel for John Tyler here, Eric, and their young men. Hard way to end a career, but the Scots just executed. They just found a way. Let's go back to the Hudson Clark interception.
That was huge.
With about 10 minutes left in the game. I'm still questioning why they would throw it in his direction. But Chandler Morris tallies 6 touchdowns in the contest, 3 rushing, 3 passing, and the Scots storm back for 28 unanswered to win the game.
Miles, you do. You feel for John Tyler. They played a heck of 3 quarters. That's the best way I can sum it up. They played in a tremendous 3 quarters, and unfortunately they just were not able to seal the deal for them. But fortunately for the Scots, I'm telling you, and the Scots flat out earned it. They earned
it.
They earned
absolutely
this
did.
win. There was nothing handed to them. Hudson Clark, he had to come make that play, and he made it. Now, granted, why do you throw it in his direction? I don't know, but he's still got to make the play, and he did it. Just an incredible, incredible performance by the Highland Park Scots.
Well, up next is South Lake Carroll and Duncanville.
Good luck
but
topping that one.
They're not going to play a better game than we just saw here today. What a performance by Highland Park in the 4th quarter. And it shouldn't surprise anyone that knows the character of this team, this program, these individuals, these coaches. Eric Cunningham, these guys believed every moment of that game, the game was theirs. And they went out and took it from the John Tyler Lions.
They did. I mean, they Scots never die. Scots find a way. You're exactly right. They just flat out went out and got it done. What a performance.
Let's see if we can get Kyle Yeomans or Paige Schnorbach down there with Randy Allen. You'd understand if Randy wants to go be with the team in this kind of moment here. Guys, first, Kyle, I'll ask you just some final thoughts down there from the sideline of this one.
Well, you really got to go back to when Highland Park was down by 3 scores to start that 4th quarter. You felt like there was a little bit of a chance, but there was still that back-of-the-mind mentality saying, hey, that's a lot of points and not a whole lot of time. And regardless of how this one turned out, you saw the fight all the way up until the end. Yes, Highland Park was able to pull it out, but even if they wouldn't have, somehow a miracle happens and this doesn't turn out the way that it does, you still saw that fight from the Scots sideline, and in just an unbelievable show of character, of perseverance, just an unbelievable football game from beginning to end. They earned it from the get-go, and just one of the best football games, right up there, top 5 of what I've seen at the high school level of my career. Unbelievable football game, guys.
Obviously, we're a little biased because we're Scott fans, but that's as good as it gets right there.
Miles, there's just not many times in my life that I'm speechless, and brother, this is one of them. I mean, these guys just never cease to amaze me. Just an incredible performance, and wow.
I can't wait to get down there, give some hugs. What a football game. What a game. Down 21 late in this one. And John Tyler had the football late, up 21. And somehow the Scots find a way to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but that
All right, let's head down to Kyle Yeomans, who has Chandler Morris. 6 touchdowns tonight for Chandler.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Miles. I'm joined by Chandler Morris. And Chandler, we're having to walk to the sideline because of South Lake and Duncanville. But what was going through your mind at the start of that 4th quarter?
We knew we had stuff to do. We had to go out and come back from 21 points. We thought we didn't play a very good first half, and we knew we had to go do it, and we knew we were capable of doing it. We had the guys and the coaches to do it.
What did you think in the first half after seeing the way that John Tyler was playing this football game, slowing it down, taking the air out of the football? Was there any doubt at any point?
No. I mean, Coach Allen teaches us, Scots find a way. We're going to go out there. It doesn't matter what the score is. He told us at halftime, he said, y'all go out there, work your butts off, and look up at the scoreboard at the end of the game, and we'll be on top.
Congrats, Chandler. 6 touchdowns tonight. Well done.
Thank you.
Chandler Morris, back up to you guys, Miles.
Thank you, Kyle. We run out of superlatives for this team, and that was the play of the game right there. The Hudson Clark interception spurring the entire comeback. And then from there, it was Chandler Morris.
Now,
we talked a lot about Chandler's numbers in this game. They weren't up to his standard. Well, he ends up with 18 out of 31 for 280 and 3 touchdowns.
You know, and
he's pretty good.
Yeah, and there was some struggle there, and like he mentioned in his interview, it was a tough first half. They knew they could play better, and boy, they just flat out came out in the fourth quarter. And I'm going to focus on that fourth quarter, and it was epic. It was absolutely epic. I mean, the fight that they showed, the execution that they showed was absolutely tremendous.
Not sure if we're going to be able to get Randy Allen, but want to make sure we thank everyone that made this possible. Our director and producer, Troy Guter, cameraman, Silviano Moncada, of course, our terrific sound guy, Cookie Hawkins, and Fred Garner, the man with the plan. Always appreciate everything Fred does for us here, making these productions so fun to be a part of. And Eric Cunningham, looks like I got some flights to book for next week.
That's what I'm talking about. And you know what? And give credit to these young men. I mean, it makes it so much fun for us to be able to call a game like this. These young men, you know, their backs were against the wall. This was the John Tyler team that, frankly, had dominated them for the first 3 quarters. They really had. And I guarantee you there was people in the building somewhere that were doubting the Scots starting the fourth quarter, but they didn't doubt themselves. And those of us that have had the privilege and pleasure of watching these young men for so many years knew better. We knew better.
42-35 is the final score. Highland Park will move on to the regional final. They will play the winner of Denton Ryan and Birdville. Like I said, we have so many people to thank, including 2 people down on the sideline, Kyle Yeomans and Paige Schnorbach. For Eric Cunningham, I'm Miles Dunklin. We'll see you next week.
I'm a link in the chain. I'm a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain.
I'm a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain.
11, and then we scored with 9. So it was an unbelievable comeback by our guys. They just refused to give up and refused to give in.
What can you say about Hudson Clark's performance tonight with those 2 big picks, including that last one that really sealed the deal?
Those were huge takeaways because that gave us field position and turned the momentum of the game around. Those were big.
Coach Allen, a couple weeks ago, the offense struggled a little early today. The defense had a tough time and then made 4 stops in a row. What can you say about how they hang around and are still full speed, especially when the other team starts to tire?
Well, they're in great condition, and they believe they can win, and so they know they have to do certain things for us to have a chance. And in the fourth quarter, they had to stop them, and we had to score. And so when the offense scored, that gave us more momentum, and then the defense held them. That gave us more momentum, and we just kept gaining momentum as the game progressed in the fourth quarter.
What did you see from John Tyler today that was so impressive, and what made them so hard to stop for 3 quarters of the game?
Well, they got a big offensive line. They got a great running back, and they've got a great receiver, or a couple of great receivers. And that quarterback can go all the way. He's like Kyler Murray. He can go all the way anytime. That's a great football team. They have a really, really strong defense as well, and a great kicking game.
How good of a feeling was it coming back from this deficit like you did last year in the state championship against Manville? It kind of mirrors that drill. It's cold outside. How you feel about that, Coach?
Well, I can laugh about it right now, but I was pretty tense on the sidelines. I mean, you got to compete, one play at a time. Don't look at the scoreboard. Just keep coming back, and, things will happen your way, if the guys don't give up. Our guys won't give up. They'll keep playing to the end of the game.
Coach, talk to me about the mental fortitude of your team to overcome that kind of deficit and come back and win.
Well, it's just what's inbred in them. I mean, for 2 years they've been watching it done by other players and other teams, and they know that sometime in the game we're going to turn it around, and there's always a chance at the end of the game that we're going to win.
How about Chandler Morris down the stretch of the fourth quarter?
Chandler Morris in the fourth quarter of that.
Yeah, Chandler had a great game, and he got hot, and our guys started catching the ball, getting open, and he had a wonderful game.
Who are the guys on the sideline who are keeping them ready and keeping them fighting these guys so that when the opportunity comes they'll be making the plays?
Well, they're getting each other ready, but of course our coaches are talking to them, but they do a really good job of talking to each other and getting each other jacked up.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
That's all with Coach Allen as he had to walk away after that moment. We're kind of getting pushed off the field here a little bit, guys, with Southlake and Duncanville incoming, but a reflective but yet confident, also happy Coach Randy Allen. Guys? And that's going to do it, actually, for our coverage. Miles and Coach already making their way down to the sideline. Glad you've been with us here on Game On Sports. What a day it's been. Once again, the final score, Highland Park 42. And John Tyler, 35. Thanks for watching. Be sure to follow us on Game On Sports Pro on Twitter. Keep up with us next week as they'll face the winner of Birdville and Dayton Ryan coming up later tonight. So long, everybody.